Definitely start with that testament.
It's not dad, it's because
Yeah, it's not.
you're all up in the front. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Bexhill Town Council's full council meeting on 29th July 2026. Hi. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Bexhill Town Council's full council meeting on Wednesday, 29th of July 2026. And my next question was going to be, can you hear me? So, can you all either please switch your phones onto aeroplane mode or switch them off as it interferes with your microphones? Okay, and we'll start with a safety brief. So we have 2 fire exits, one bottom right-hand corner of this room, one bottom right-hand corner of the following room, and the toilets are next to the fire exit, and you've got the main entrance where you came in from. I would like to welcome everybody tonight, where hopefully a new councillor will be co-opted shortly. I am Councillor Peters. This is my first time chairing a meeting as Councillor Hussain is currently away. So my ward partner, Councillor Wilson, has been called up to assist as an extra pair of eyes and ears. We do have a lot to get through this evening, and you do not have to sit through all of it, so you can leave after the co-opt if you wish to do so. Okay, moving on, item 1, to co-opt a councillor to fill the Kewhurst Ward vacancy. All councillors should have received a confidential brief containing the procedures and personal statements of the 5 candidates. We will be running this co-opt using sections 8 and 27 of NELC Model Standing Orders, which is a strikeout vote. The voting procedure will be fully explained before the vote, but before we get to that stage, I will call up each of the 5 candidates in alphabetical order by their surnames. They will each have 3 minutes talking time. The candidates can use those 3 minutes as they wish. You do not have to repeat your personal statements as we've already read them. So use your time wisely. There was an error in the briefing that said councillors can ask the candidates questions. That is not the case here tonight, so you cannot ask the candidates any questions. Okay, is everybody clear on that? Mm-hmm. Okay, so first up is Abul Azad. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, the President of Exit. My name is Abul Azad, and I'm running about last 20 years as a local government. I was a mayor of Bexhill. I was a councillor of the District Council, former mayor of Kewhurst County Council, and former fire authority member of this fire authority, Kewhurst County Council. The reason I come here today, there's quite a few things, obviously. As the North Division, which is under the Kewhurst, and it is a lot of issues need to be addressed. Residents will come in to talk to me about this, a lot of things what I promised and what need to be done. So I put myself forward, and I've done a lot of things, of course. But then again, I don't have an official capacity. So if I do get elected today, I get even more concentrate on these things that I want to do it. I mean, this, it is obviously important that to look after the resident, and I had a good experience for the last 20 years, and I think a lot of things in this at the Kewhurst Ward. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next up is Annaliese Beeney.
Good evening, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak today. My name is Annaliese. I'm 18 years old, and I've recently completed my A-levels, which has enabled me to have excellent time management skills. A-levels enabled me to organise thinking to complete a variety of assignments. These skills are transferable to be able to familiarise myself with policies and legislation that is applicable to this role. I've lived in this area my whole life, and applying to become a town councillor felt like a natural way of giving something back to the community that shaped me. One of the main reasons I applied is because I believe many younger people are underrepresented in local decision making. Many young people want to contribute to their communities, but often don't know how or what opportunities exist, or feel that local government isn't something that they are a part of. I'd like to help change that by encouraging greater engagement and making local opportunities more visible and accessible. At the same time, I want to represent residents of all ages. One idea I'm interested in is exploring creating more opportunities for younger and older generations to connect. For example, community sessions where young people can help older residents with technology and digital skills, but also building relationships that help tackle loneliness and strengthen community spirits. Through volunteering as a swimming coach for 2 years, I've learned the importance of patience, communication, and taking responsibility. Taking part in the European Youth Parliament also reinforced how valuable it is to listen to different perspectives, work collaboratively, and help respectful discussions even when people disagree. More broadly, I'd like to support initiatives that promote Bexhill, strengthen community events, and support local businesses, because I believe that these are important for building pride in our town and making it an even better place to live. I know that, as the youngest applicant, I still have a lot to learn. However, I see that as a strength as much as it can be a challenge. I will bring enthusiasm and commitment and a fresh perspective. I'm always willing to listen, learn from more experienced councillors, and work collaboratively in the best interest of the residents of Bexhill. Thank you for your time, and I'll be honoured to serve the Town Council if appointed.
Thank you. Next up, Elizabeth Bone.
So, good evening everyone, my name is Elizabeth Bound. I'm standing to serve our community because I genuinely care about people who live here. As a community nurse, I've dedicated my career to helping others through some of the most difficult times in their lives. That experience has taught me compassion, advocacy, resilience, and the importance of listening before acting. My Christian faith is at the centre of who I am. I'm proud to support St John's Church and Christians Against Poverty, helping people face financial hardship. These experiences have shown me how important a strong, caring community is. And if elected as your town councillor, I work hard to be approachable, honest and accountable. I believe local people deserve to be listened to, public money should be spent wisely, and our town should be clean, safe and a place we are all proud to call home. I don't claim to have all the answers, but I do promise to listen, to work hard and to always put the interests of our community first. I want to avoid the residents and help make a positive difference for everyone. Thank you for your time, and I'll be honoured to have your support.
Thank you. Lynn Brailsford.
Good evening, everybody. I'm here to apply for the councillor for Kewhurst position. I have been one of the original councillors for Bexhill Town Council. I've served on the Treasurer's Committee, and also I was lucky enough to be voted as chair a few years ago. Since leaving the council, I've served as secretary for the award-winning Bexhill in Bloom group, and last year I became a member of the Bexhill Lions Community Group. 2 years ago, I joined the Board of Trustees for Warming Up the Homeless charity. After careful consideration, I feel that I can continue with my work for these groups without impediment if I'm lucky enough to be elected as councillor for Kewhurst Ward. I cared passionately about Bexhill, having come from many generations of Bexhill families, and I'm committed to putting all my best efforts into my role as councillor. Thank you.
Thank you. Joseph Carter.
Hello everyone, thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak today. For those who don't know me, my name's Joe Carter, and to be honest, alphabetically, this is the first time I've ever been last in an alphabetical order. But for those who don't know me, I recently ran in the East Sussex County Council elections in Bexhill West, and which of course covers most of Kewhurst Ward. Now, during this time, even though I did not win, I did talk to a lot of residents, and their issues time and time again came across as kind of two main issues where the town council is concerned. The first off is car parks. You may remember recently there was a big campaign to stop Brother District Council putting extra charges on currently free-use car parks. Now, as a parish council, I feel it's our role to take those over once the new delegation of property comes from Unitary Council. And we should provide that service as a town council, like many other parish councils in Brother District do. Another concern of mine is the planning. Now, I know town council isn't directly responsible for planning applications, but town councillors have done an amazing job representing their residents' views when it comes to a lot of planning officers and contentious planning applications. And I think this town council can have an important role in representing Bexhill residents' views when it comes to big planning applications, and that's something that I wish to carry forward and develop within this town council. Now, as a town councillor, my aim is to, as is all of ours, is to make lives better for Bexhill residents. Now, I, of course, will work with any district councillor, any county councillor, of course, our MP and the future Mayor of Sussex, in order to make that possible. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, through you, Chair, you've all read the voting procedure. I would like to suggest that we do it slightly differently. And the slight difference is that we have a closed vote with names into a hat for each round. But to enable us to do that, we have to close the standing orders and reopen them after we've done the vote. My reason for this is because it is somewhat awkward when some of us know some of the candidates and some of the candidates know us. And for to make it easier for everyone, I would like to propose that we close the standing orders and write on, and we'll have to still do per round with a strikeout vote. It's just we will write down the name on paper that will be provided by our clerk, etc., and then they'll be collected and added up, and then the next round will be taken from there and we'll vote again, so that the 5 people that are standing will not know who has voted for them, but will get the same answer. So to do that, we have to agree to close the standing orders and then reopen them afterwards, and I need a seconder if we're agreeable to that. Are there any questions before I go for a second?
No, I was going to second it.
OK.
I'll second it.
We've got several seconders. All those in favour of that, please show. Sorry, you should be saying that.
That's yeah. So that's passed, Chair.
Right, okay, so standing orders are now closed then.
Yeah, so picking up from Councillor Wilson, as you'd have seen as Council would have seen in the report they're issued, strikeout voting is the jargon term where basically we have a round of voting, and at the end of that round we'll see if any candidate has an absolute majority. In this case that will be 8 people because there's 14 councillors present. So if any of the candidates get 8 votes, they will be declared a winner at the end of round 1. If none of the candidates get 8 votes, then we will see what the individual totals are, and the candidate with the lowest vote will be eliminated, and then we'll have round 2 where we take the vote again. And again, we'll then see if anyone's got 8 votes or not. If they haven't, again, we'll eliminate the lowest person, go on to round 3. We will keep going until we have a round where one of the candidates achieves 8 votes, an absolute majority. Now that Councillor Wilson has asked for the confidential voting, now we suspended standing orders, we can do that. Larry is going to basically be the person who will coordinate this process. So each round, she will give out a sheet of paper to you and a pen if you need it, for you to recall, and then the chair will say, please vote, and then you will write your vote down and fold the piece of paper up so it remains confidential. We will then collect the papers, count them up quickly, and declare the result of the round. Any questions before we start that process for you, Chair?
Councillor Jacklin's got a question, Chair.
How many people can we vote for in each round?
1. It's a single vote. Yeah, it's not that first, second, third, fourth malarkey. It's a single vote.
Council.
Okay, I think everyone's got their pens and papers there.
You up and down, huh?
That's all. Well, make sure they're folded and then pass them through to us, please. Thank you very much. And just down this way through you. Madam, please. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, that's in the eyes. 5, 6, 7,
8. You've got 6 as well? Yeah, okay. Please talk amongst yourselves for a moment, please, while we just do this part of the process. Right, okay. And just to check, can you just make sure you've written down that result? You've got nothing.
Very good at reading. Yes, reading.
All right. I'm able to tell you that we have a winner in our first round because one of our candidates has achieved 9 votes. So through you, Chair, I'm able to announce that Annaliese Beeney has been elected as the town. So through you, Chair, we'll take a brief time out through you, Chair. We'll ask Annaliese to come up. She has to sign a declaration of acceptance of office. Once she has done that, she is a town councillor. She'll join us for the rest of the meeting. Annaliese, you come and talk to me and Larry, and then Chair will let you know we're ready to start again.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody. Right, declaration of office. Congratulations. Well done. Kewhurst massive.
Very good. Very good. No. No, very true.
Well done.
Well, yeah, of course that's it. You can't go home. No, he just said you got no. Oh, when I had to do it. What's saying about that? It's off the thingy bubble. First time they're restaurant to bloody get in there. Oh yeah, by the way, you've got to do a co-op. I can't remember who we co-opted on. Was it Len? Yes, it was Len. Was it Len? Yes, it was, I think, yeah. No, Tony was nothing day one. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. And everyone's got the sticks, don't they? I'll underline that. All right, let's just
Yeah, so what we'll do is I've got your email address, so I'll liaise with
what they call Clem Wilson, Thomas's motion survey. Yeah. It's all been. It's not. No, I think it's on here, and it's all been put out since month. Is it? No. Yes. Look.
as you'll see.
Oh, very good indeed. Yeah. I didn't read that properly. That's very good. Yeah.
You should be plus up.
I thought all those motions.
You're free to do whatever you want.
I thought they were in this map.
We'll take you through everything. and also
Because I read a publication before we're going to be here forever. But we aren't. Well, at least I'm not the youngest. I've never not been the youngest.
yeah, Mr. Councillor Tracy. It's necessary. No congratulations.
Yeah, I thought it was going to take a really long time.
They open anymore. The little ones, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then we need to put something like that.
She's going now, I think. Right, yeah, her partner.
We're going to do public participation next, so we'll put standing orders back at the end of public participation.
Standard.
And then move on to public participation. Once we can do that. We do it, yeah. That's something outstanding.
Does it not offstage?
Okay, thank you to all of the participants there, and congratulations to Annaliese. We're going to move on now. Thank you to all the participants, and congratulations to Annaliese. We're going to move on now. We don't have to reopen standing orders yet because the next part is public participation. So if there's anybody here who would like to speak for 3 minutes, can you please raise your hand? Okay, so I'll start with you. If you come up to the microphone, please. You have 3 minutes.
Right, thank you everyone. Evening, well done for getting the job, Councillor. I want to thank all the councillors at Bexhill, even politics and all that, you all do an amazing job. I especially want to thank Paul. Over the last 2 years we've done amazing stuff with veterans. And I think we're now leading the way in the country and also especially in East Sussex. So thank you, Paul. I'd like to have a veterans champion for the town. Someone that's going to represent us, and also when we merge together it will also be easier for East Sussex and us to have our own champions. And also if you like to do the course, there's a course for us online, which is about an hour and a half, and it's free. I'd like to sort out the memorial. I think the memorial's starting to get a little bit tacky. It needs to tidy up. Some of the stonework needs doing. I think we've got bungees around the side that doesn't look proper for what we have in Bexhill. We have the highest amount of veterans in the county, and most of them are over 80. We have the highest probably over 80s in the country. So we should be respecting them. And I don't think it looks good enough. It'd be nice to have brass plates where the poppies can sit as well, so they look tidy. And we remove them after a couple of months so they don't get battered about and thrown around. And also there's people throwing the UKIP poppy away each year in the first couple of days. This needs to stop, whoever's doing it. So something needs to be investigated. That happens for 3 years on the road. Also, I would like to... our memorial has it has a lot of history, and it's quite rare in the country. It'd be nice to have a signpost explaining what it is and the history behind the sword and the hat thing. The benches, I'd like to have about 2 or 3 benches put to the right-hand side. So we have a lot of veterans standing up for an hour. It's just way too much for them. It'd be nice if they had the option then to sit down while the memorial's going on during the hour. I know this is like a Rotherham town. There's a lot of who's looking after it, whose responsibility it is. But I'd like to think we can work together with Rotherham and get this sorted. Maybe the other side as well, so that when we have people like Maid's House and other care homes bringing their people, we can have a VIP section for them to sit down and obviously enjoy their last few years.
You have 20 seconds left.
Okay. And I'd like to, in the garden bit, I'd like to try to make that a bit more of a memorial and obviously bring in all together all the council, places that were bombed during the Second World War, the police and all the services, and make it a special area for us all at the wars.
Okay, I have to stop you there. Your 3 minutes is up. Thank you.
Sure, I'm happy to. If I have my voice back, I can help you say a few words if that's
Yeah, you can have some of your answers now from the town clerk, and then you'll get the rest in the minutes. Okay.
Thank you so much. We'll obviously make sure also within the minutes and back to you on all the points that you've raised. But we, as the officer team at the council, has been looking into matters of War Memorial, and at the moment the responsibility for the memorial is rather district. That's the official kind of custodians of our War Memorial. So we're very happy to take those points forward with them and see what can be addressed in terms of the memorial itself. There was almost like two sets of points you're making, and you made some very, very valid and important ones. First of all, about the memorial itself and how it might be maintained in a more positive way going forward, and we can raise those points with Rother. Secondly, you talked about some things for the ceremony. Now, we work with Rother on that ceremony, so we'll take those points away and see what we can do for the ceremony this year and the years going forward, listening to what you've said. And then thirdly as well, councillors will be aware that some time ago, the council did ask rather about potentially whether the memorial might transfer to our care. So we will also we will make sure through the channels we have with Rother, we will check with them to see if there is a possibility the town council may be able to take the care of the memorial on from the district council through the devolution process. So that's what we can immediately do as a council, if you like, but we will keep in touch as well to make sure we're seeing how we can respond in the best way possible. Thank you.
Okay, Paul Brailsford.
Sorry. I was going to just quickly say about the War Memorial. Have you got...
Point of order, Chair. You can't answer questions from the council.
I was just about speciality.
Okay, yes, so Paul Brailsford then.
Good evening. My name is Paul Brailsford, resident Bexhill. In the November 25 full council meeting was proposed and voted and passed that the neighbourhood board, RDC and BTC put £4,000 each, a total of £12,000, into a viability study of location and the type of hotel what's needed in Bexhill, some suitable area. What's the result of this study?
Through you, Chair, I'm happy to give an update. It's partly referred to in my town clerk report for this meeting. Okay. But you're quite right, there is that tripartite approach. And the funds are being used to fund an expert feasibility study. And where things are at is that through the neighbourhood board, invitations to tender were sent out for people to bid to be the experts to carry out that study. Responses have been received, and neighbourhood board are about to announce the successful organisation. That feasibility study will be undertaken in the autumn and will finish in November this year and report back to the three funders of it, which is the neighbourhood board, district council and also town council. So we should see in November what the experts recommend in terms of possible ways forward for a hotel in the town.
It's just never heard anything what's going on.
Well, that's what I say. Well, I have put an update within my town clerk report, but also obviously this will come back to council in November when we have a result of the study. Thank you.
I'm not sure when it was done, but BTC recommended to give £6,000 to Highways for a feasibility study about the proposed blind gap roundabout sculpture.
Yes.
What is the progress on this report? I believe it was the beginning of this year.
So in terms of that, again, there's reference to it in the town clerk report, but that was recently discussed at one of our committees, and the committee gave the office team some more work to do upon the studying for this effectively, and what that means in practice is we expect to bring an update report to September's full council. So there should be an update there.
I realise that, yes. Highways England, I believe, is going to do a report to see if we could put something on.
Yeah, so with liaison has been taking place with Highways England. Yeah. Again, I appreciate the time, Chair, in terms of how long an answer to give. But in terms of the Highways England have asked for more information, and that we're doing our best to provide that information so they can find the answer.
And the final thing is an easy one. When councillors talk, can other councillors not over-talk them? Because when it's on recording, somebody says something, another councillor breaks in when they're talking, they haven't finished. I think that's a sign for the council and its ignorance to let them finish first and then respond to them. That's all right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Item 3 then.
So standing order back.
Sorry, going to be open standing orders. Sorry.
So we just need to begin to have a vote.
Right, okay, so...
Proposed by Councillor Beeney.
Yeah, and seconder? Councillor Wilson. And then, all those in favour? Okay, so, yeah.
Thank you,
Right,
Chair.
thank you.
Got standing orders back. Thank you, Chair. Well done.
Right, okay, so we'll move on to item 3, which is apologies for absence.
Yeah, the apologies this evening are from Councillor Lee, who's indisposed, and Councillor Memis Hussain, who's away. Thank you.
We don't vote on that anymore, no.
That's the two apologies we've had.
Okay. Item 4 then, to receive declarations of pecuniary and non-pecuniary interests. Councillor Tempe.
Thank you, Chair. Rother District Councillor.
Councillor Byrne.
Rother District Councillor.
Councillor Jason.
Rother District Councillor.
Councillor Winter.
Rother District Council Member.
Okay, thank you. Item 5, Chair's announcements. Okay, just to say that in the time since the last full council meeting, Bexhill has hosted some amazing events that will surely be the envy of other towns, including the Back to the 80s event, and I would like to personally thank Councillor Klim and the whole Carnival team who ensured Bexhill Carnival Week was an outstanding success. Yeah. So thank you. Item 6, minutes. We need a proposer and a seconder for those. Councillor Crotty and Councillor Hunt. And a vote. All those in favour to accept them. Okay. Thank you.
Everyone. We just have a pause, Chair, while you can initial each page and sign the last page, please. Thank you very much. Perfect. I'll stop you.
Thank you so much. Amazing. Okay, item number 8 then, recommendations for week.
Sorry, item 7, Chair.
Just a little. Oh yeah, sorry, item 7, sorry. Mayor's office update. Since the last full council meeting, the Mayor has attended 9 events, I have attended 5 events, and the Town Clerk has attended 1 event. Okay, so next, item 8, recommendations from committees. There are none.
Any recommendations are actually within this agenda rather than shown in this part of the agenda. Thank you.
Okay, item 9.
Through you, Chair, could I suggest that we remove recommendations from committees from future agendas, because we are getting the recommendations as agenda items, which are quite a pointless, just extends the...
If you'd like to put that forward as a motion.
I suppose that that's removed because they come under an agenda item anyway. If someone was saying
Anyone second that? Councillor Jason. All those in favour? Okay, that's carried. Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to item 9. Consider SIL funding applications. Okay, it should be noted that the current amount of SIL funding available is £140,496.21, which is way under the amount necessary to fund both applications fully, which total £221,000, without dipping into other resources. It should also be noted that standing orders will need to be suspended should the applicants wish to talk on the subject, and I've been informed that they do. So we'll start with item A. I'll read this out and then I'll put a motion forward for suspending standing orders. Okay. Well, so item A, the Bexhill Heritage request for £35,000 to restore Shelter 2 on the seafront, which is 12% of the project's total costs. I believe all councillors have at some point been invited to see the project for themselves and should have all seen the SIL application. As Mr Johnson was present, if you do wish to allow him to speak, then I will have to suspend standing orders, so I'll need a proposer and a seconder to do so.
I'm happy to propose suspending to hear Steve.
Councillor Clem, second. And can we have a vote on that, please? All in favour? Thank you. Sorry, I believe he's in the library. If somebody can... he's hiding. Oh. So you have 3 minutes. Okay, thank you.
Something else, how long you'd like to speak for?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. 3 minutes, excellent. Okay, well, first of all, thank you for the interest you've shown already in this project.
And thank you particularly to those who came to have a look at what is a project underway already. If I dig these out, people who didn't come, there's this little booklet for you. So if I get some that way and this way. What I won't do, I won't talk about this stupid building, except to say it's unique. And it was built by a Bexhill resident, Henry Young, who had an ironworks very conveniently in London, so he showed off his iron making. As a result of that and other factors, the building was listed. This is the one, in case you're not sure. Here it is after its 2019 renovation. It's all lit up and spick and span. But what I'd like to do is to pass round this picture of just after it was built and opened. So if that can come round, have a look at that. Because Bexhill Heritage wish to renovate the building, but not to renovate it and just be left with 3 seats facing the road and 3 seats facing the promenade. We think that would be a shame. We'd like to repurpose it, and we'd like to repurpose it as a facility for young people aged 0 through to about 9 or 10 years old. There's nothing really for them on East Road at the moment. And when you see young children walking along with their parents, what you find is that they're a bit reluctant unless the tide's out and it's a warm day and they can go on the beach. It's a long walk from the town centre to Galley Hill. This would be a destination for young people. Not only that, it will be a performance space for them. I've been talking to the Brownies particularly about whether they would use it. The answer is a resounding yes. They'd love to use that as a facility for the Brownie and Rainbow members. So we've got grand plans for it. They're all in the brochure. It's the sort of thing the Princess of Wales is promoting at the moment. So I've not much time left except to say that we are driving a very hard bargain with our contractors. As a result, we have almost completed phase 1. Your contribution, it is going to be your asset, don't forget, and at the moment it is condemned by a structural surveyor. It definitely needs doing. Your contribution will allow us to replace the iron brackets. They have been removed, the patterns have been made for new ones, but it's there we've had to stop because we do rely on a little bit of a contribution from the Town Council to move forward. We've got a joinery estimate of £22,000 as well. £35,000 would allow us to do both of those things and to practically restore that building. Then we raise the money for the setting and to produce something unique on the South Coast. A place for children's pavement games, a place for young children to perform to their parents and carers, and a place for everybody to rest and admire the restoration, but more importantly, probably, the sea view.
I'm going to have to stop you there, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right, so I now need a motion to reopen standing orders so we can debate this. I've got a proposer and a seconder. And can I have a vote, please? Okay, right, so we're open again and we can open it up for debate now. So who'd like to speak on this? Anybody? Councillor Tempe?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I only had the opportunity to go down and have a look at what this particular building, and the work that's being done already is brilliant. But I think the idea of making it for children and taking it a little bit further than just a shelter, I think is really quite unique for our town, and I would fully support the this particular application.
Let's go around this way. Councillor Foxy?
Thank you, Chair. Again, thank you to Bexhill Heritage for inviting myself and Councillor Winter down in the beginning of June. Best thing about Bexhill Heritage is that they always show you something that's in our town that you'd actually notice, or you just go by and you don't realise how significant the place is. I fully agree with what they've got planned for this building, and I'm quite happy to find out as well.
Okay, great. Councillor Jim?
Yeah, I'm fully in favour of this. I mean, it's something, I think it's a no-brainer really, because you only got to see what Bexhill Heritage have done to the bandstand. It's a roaring success down there. So therefore, we fully expect it to be a roaring success with this event, this thing. And that area of Bexhill along that promenade there is badly needing some sort of venue, and this fits that task.
Councillor Jacklin?
I would like to clarify my understanding of the money and seek other councillors' views on the use. So the money that we give feels like it's a small portion of the total budget, but on the other hand, it feels as if it's mostly funding the renovation. And so therefore, it's not a small proportion of the renovation. Having said that, I like the idea of renovating it. I was interested in any other councillors' views on whether children aged 0 to 9 want something like this, as it's a long time since I had children aged 0 to 9.
Right. Councillor Thompson?
Yeah. I agree with Councillor Blackman. The trouble is, children 0 to 9, they never had this, so they don't know what they're missing. I fully support, I've had a good look at it. It's been allowed to virtually fall apart. The Bexhill Heritage grasped it on its last legs and must fully support their renovation.
Okay, Councillor Platt?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I also went and had a look, and as always, Bexhill Heritage are doing great things. But they also described in a lot more detail just what the facilities for the 0 to 9-year-olds are. Now, they've put a lot of research into this, and on the continent, if you imagine a game of Twister, but laid out with footprints and coloured squares, there would also be an audio tape, not tape, but an audio description via phone, describing to parents how the kids can interact with these spaces, what they're for, each game that's played on the various numbered squares and bits and pieces. But they had done a lot of research, and in answer to the question, do 0 to 9-year-olds know what, like it, and do they know what they're missing? Well, no, the Bexhillians don't know what they're missing, but children all over the continent absolutely love it. So I can only applaud. This isn't just a bright idea, this is a well thought out and absolutely brilliant idea to the town.
Yeah, and I think that without fixing the shelter, then the rest of it wouldn't take place, because it just wouldn't.
I was going to make that point that this is, okay, quite a large sum towards fixing the shelter, but that's got to be the first stage of doing it all anyway, to then take it on. And I think most of us have been around it with Bexhill Heritage and know their plans for it, which are quite extensive in terms of landscaping around it and provision of these facilities for kids. So, yeah, it will brighten up that end of the seafront and provide more amenity there. So, yeah, I would support it.
Okay, is there anybody... Oh, sorry, Councillor Wilson?
Just a couple of things from me. I'm all for supporting heritage and anything and anybody who's old, because that is what Bexhill is. It is an attraction. All you hear from families is when they come here, there's nothing for kids to do. And this is going to be a destination zone within Bexhill for things for families and kids. And it stretches our seafront rather than just having the Delaware. We've got things at the South Cliff end. We're going to have things there. It's absolutely brilliant that Bexhill Heritage have done this, because if we don't look after pieces of civic history like that, it will just rot away on the seafront, and so we have to do this, in my opinion.
Okay, I'll go to Councillor Carroll, and then we'll try and get a motion together.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to comment on Councillor Jenkins. I hear what you're saying, and I think very hard to ask them 0 to 5-year-old what they want. All they do want is to play. and I think we've probably got the best playground in the UK, just out there. It's bringing no noise other than joy noise, and the kids more itself. There's no tricks to it. It's all very mental. It's getting the kids back outside. So also, as well, you could go out there all year round. It's not like the fountains where everyone's saying we need more, we need more. The fountains are there for the summer, spring, bit in the autumn, but in the winter they'll be shut off. That can be used all year round. I think it's a great idea, and bringing people in. But I think Councillor Wilson said it as well, and probably some others, but the gap between Annie Hill and Bexhill, to put that in the middle, it makes the town stronger. It makes another link.
Yeah, definitely.
Can
Councillor
I
Hunt,
just
yeah.
ask like one question that I'm not 100% clear on? It might just be me being stupid, but to do the kiddie thing, which I think, don't get me wrong, is a great idea, does it require any sort of planning permission? Does it require any sort of... Because you know as well as I do, how long are we in the waiting for Pevsham Park? That's taken forever to go through. Does it need... Because it's something that's going to be put onto the ground, does it need anything?
Yeah, I mean, that's an absolutely fair question. And my understanding would be that, of course, Bexhill Heritage will be making sure that all necessary permissions are obtained for the project. And I think that that's effectively a condition of our funding, that you have to have the permissions.
I just think it is a great idea, but you know as well as we do, it's nearly a year and a half in the making of Pevsham. We haven't put a spade in the ground.
Yeah.
I'll be going to have the same problem.
We're going to come to that later. But we'll come to that later. But in terms of, I mean, again, without speaking for Bexhill Heritage, more than that is that they do have they have a strong working relationship with Rother District Council and the planning authorities. So I'm sure Rother would be making sure they're going down the right path.
Well, does anybody want to?
I was only going to say, basically, agree with all that I think when we went round with Steve, he was saying that they have been negotiating with Rother on it to take the land and enhance it.
Okay, so we're going to take you. We can try and get a motion now. Councillor Flynn?
Could I propose a motion that we award Bexhill Heritage the full amount of 35,000?
Is there a second now on that? Yeah. Okay, lots of seconds. Councillor Boss. Yeah. Okay, can we have a vote on that then, please? All in favour?
I believe that's unanimous, Chair.
Unanimous.
Okay.
That's unanimous, Chair. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so we can now move on to item B. Sorry,
I should have made it earlier. I am a member of the Issue Party Double Club. I have no part in the discussion or the vote.
Thank you, Councillor Grayson.
Right, so yeah, item B. Sorry, Councillor.
So yes or no?
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. You're going to be taking part? Or are you, okay, thank you. Okay, right, so item B. Edgerton Park Indoor Bowls Club. This is for £186,000 to overlay the roof with an insulated PVC membrane. This figure exceeds the original total requested, which was £166,827.34. The reason for this is due to the cost of materials rising since the application first came before us. So this is for 100% of the total project costs. I will also add here, they have applied to Rother District Council seal funding and have recently been rejected, I believe.
That's correct.
We have a representative here, so are we able to suspend standing orders? Can I have somebody to... okay, Councillor Crotty and Councillor Tempe. So can we have a vote on that, please?
That's passed, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You have 3 minutes to speak.
Dennis Parkinson, Chairman of Edgerton Park Indoor Bowls Club. This is really a follow-up meeting when I had with you in April with an update of where we are. There's not a lot I can say. The figure still stays the same. The current figure we need to raise is £185,176.39. We've applied, as I think most of you know, with Rother District Council, but they're not prepared to consider our application under CIL funding. So we are still looking for the full amount. And that's really, I'm afraid, where we are.
Okay, so just before we put standing orders back, Chair, we will also suspend them just in case any of the councillors have any questions for Dennis.
Yes,
we'll take those, and then we'll suspend standing orders for the discussion. Through you.
Sorry, Councillor Jackson.
2 questions. How many members or trade users do you have who would benefit from this, and to what extent are other members of the public able to benefit from your facilities?
Currently we have 640 members. I think there's just 590 something off the top of my head playing members, and then we have social members who pay a reduced fee that they can't borrow, but they can use the facilities in the club. We then open up, we have wedding sections, wakes, goose nights, various functions in there, and physically invite guests along. So to get a number of people outside of the membership would be a difficult one to calculate. Of course, certainly other, it is used for other purposes.
Councillor Goss?
Did RDC give any reasoning as to why they rejected completely?
They did. It was somewhat complex. It was under their SIL funding, they felt that this wasn't falling under the type of thing. They wanted to re-establish more building and for something to going forward for re-establishing housing, etc. And at least they didn't feel came under that umbrella.
Councillor Clem?
Yeah. Two questions, one of which would be for the clerk. I take it that this application does fall within our SIL remit. Good, that's that. The other one for Mr Parkinson there is, have you approached anyone else, such as the town board? Because the town board has got a vast amount of money, and town board, the neighbourhood board. May I suggest?
Pride in Place.
Oh, Pride in Place now. They change their name every 5 minutes. But if you can, it might be worth your while liaising with our clerk, who was in close contact with the Pride in Place people, and be able to sort of work with them, should you sort of not be successful in any way.
We're willing to try any avenues. I mean, I looked at various other options, but a lot of it was capped at like £15,000, and trying to raise 185, getting 10,000 yen, 15,000. Just so much work. It just wasn't really.
But they've got the money, the type of money you're looking for. But whether it fits their remit or not, I don't know.
Okay. Councillor Hunt?
Yeah, Councillor Clem has asked one of the questions that I was going to ask. Second question I've got, have the club got any plans to try and raise any funds? Are they doing any sort of boot sales, anything that's going to raise funds towards this, or is it just a case of out the two councils?
Yeah, well, we're looking at that all the time, but because of the sum of money, boot sales and things like that, probably all the time we'll be chasing inflation prices on the cost of the project anyway, because it would take an awful long time. We have got the option of going to the membership. We have thought about this. Well, if every member goes £300, that would pay for it.
What about Sports England or anyone like that?
Well, yeah, it took 2 years to get an answer.
Right.
It's highly complex. I looked at it, and again, whether there's a category there that fits. If you ask for funding for a roof, it doesn't fall under any category. So I have looked, but you can take up to 2 years. The Sports Council, the lottery is the same.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy thing to go for, but I'm certainly willing to have a look at this. I hadn't heard of this, I'm afraid, so what your suggestions?
Okay, Councillor Wilson.
So I'm on the Pride in Place, so I'm happy to talk through some options afterwards. I'm there as a member of the public rather than a councillor, and that could be an option. I've got a couple of questions, if I may, Dennis.
Yeah.
I read an additional report that said that your current roof has been patched a number of times, and the issue is if you put your solar panels on top and the patching doesn't withhold anything, then it will cause major problems to gain access to it. So it's clearly been at risk for some time, the roof. So what contingency plan did you have as a business to prepare for this rather than just coming here to ask for the whole lot?
It wasn't until the solar panel project came up that we realised there was any sort of issue up there. We have a chap who maintains it, and it literally goes up and it's over bits. Puts in a bill. It wasn't until the solar panel came up that we had to get a survey done. Now, the survey was done, and they just told everything was fine. What we hadn't realised, it was structural only. so the weight was not an issue at all. What we hadn't realised is they hadn't looked at the surface of the roof. So, as a board, we were unaware of the condition of the roof until I was happened to just be walking through the car park when the captain doing a bit of punching on the edge. So I just shouted up, "Was everything okay up there?" And he said, "Oh, no, not really." So I thought, "Why, that's a problem." And he said, "Well, it's just deteriorating so quickly, it's especially the western side." And I said, "Well, I hope that's not the case." I said, "Because we'll put up 720 solar panels." Cool, all right, what do you do that? He said, "Not an issue this week." So then suddenly that was where it sparked it a lot. So we had to then get a service, a survey done on the surface, which I believe I've put forward to Bexhill and Garland.
So am I right, if you can't gain the 186,000, and included in that is the cost of the solar panels, presumably, then you won't be able to do it, but the roof will still be okay for a bit longer?
The solar panels are funded. They're all systems to go.
So this is just for the roof?
Yeah, it's just the roof.
You've got 3 quotes for that?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, that was in my report, Councillor Wilson.
Thank you. Councillor Winter?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I find myself in a little bit of two minds. One part of me thinks, you know, pretty much we've got the money, so, you know, and it seems like a good cause, so why not? And then the other part of me listening just now is I can name a couple of other organisations who have got dodgy roofs that over the last couple of years they've done quiz nights, they've done curry nights, they've done summer fates, they've done whatever to try, and it's hard work, of course it is, to raise such a large sum of money, but they've worked. And it does sound harsh, but they haven't just come here and asked for the full sum and hoping to get it. They've shown effort, if that's the right word, in trying to raise the sum. That doesn't take away from what the building is, what the building provides, but I'm stuck. I'm in the middle on what to do and how to vote because I'm just a bit stuck.
I think I said on our previous meeting that we, since COVID, we haven't made a profit of the club. Well, this year we're just doing projections now. We think we're going to make a very small profit, around 6,000. It's likely to be wiped up by the accountants, because they're too many shares we value them. So on paper it may not be, but in cash terms we think we will make a small profit. And now looking and we're putting things in place, hopefully that from now on we can start to make a more fancy profit.
Okay.
So there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes. We've had some major issues in the club just recently, which I can't talk about for legal reasons. But yeah, we are trying.
Okay, well, we need to keep this to questions and not debating because standing orders are still closed. So have you got any questions?
Just one question. Who owns the building?
The club.
Right. So you own the building outright?
We own the building, yeah. That was all bought by the members. They all contributed to it. Obviously, we just paid ground rent to Robert.
Okay, is anybody?
Yeah, can I just you're going to put solar panels on the roof. Can I just ask how that was funded?
That's funded by Sussex Energised Post, so Sussex Post Energy, they're for themselves. They come under several different names.
Right. And they funded it?
But they're fully funding that. So really all we're doing is renting our roof space out. They then sell off the excess electricity.
Yeah.
And that's how they finance this. And then they want to, move it forward.
Do you get
several large projects in the area.
Do you get any benefit from the solar panels being up there other than...
Yeah, we will get a reduced electrical fee for that, yeah.
And if they're not going to...
If they're saying that we haven't had a proper PPA yet, but they're saying around about half.
If they want 720 solar panels up on top of your roof, have they come forward and said that they might possibly assist with repairs on the roof or anything like that?
Yes, they might be able to do that, but it just means that we've got to pay them back. That would be over time. They might be able to, I don't know whether they can finance all of it or not, they haven't gone into that route. But they're certainly willing to finance the other aspects, and the other things that we're trying to do is we're trying to get rid of the very antiquated gas system in the club for heating and cooling, and to have an air pump system put in, which will run from the power of the solar panels.
Okay.
So we're prepared to fund that.
I'll take one more question and then we'll reopen it up for debate because this is Councillor Thomas.
What provision does it cost me for ongoing repairs?
We keep a small contingency fund in the club for general repairs, throughout the park. I mean, using Jen's go today, every April we shut down to maintain the club and check anything that needs doing, health and safety and all the other things, decorating. All these things are done annually every year. All the electrical equipment, all the kitchen and catering equipment is all double checked every year. So we have a fund for that. So that's kept on done annually.
Does that Dutchman cover the yearly?
No, unfortunately, no.
Okay, last one now, Councillor Byrne.
Thank you. The electricity you're generating, and you're saying that the company is installing is selling it back to the grid, or have you thought of, or are there any plans for car charging?
Yes.
Because you have quite a lot of car parking spaces, and it strikes me that would be
we don't
a community asset.
No, we have 640 members and we have 26 parking spaces. We don't have. So
You
could
could,
not.
but if you had 3, that would be 3 more than the whole of that sort of.
True, but then that is 3, which we've asked a lot of the doors to the front car park, which is public. And that'd be the best place. Otherwise, we're going to have 3 car parking spaces for people who haven't got electric cars, and they remain empty most of the day when we're out, other people trying to park.
Okay, but you have thought about these.
We
It's
have.
all I was really.
Spoken to Rob about it, but they're not particularly. Hang on, mate.
Right, okay.
We need to put into the area at the front, which is owned by Robert, which I gather shortly won't be owned by Robert, so we don't have anything to be owning that.
Okay, right, so I'm going to try and open standing orders again. So I need a motion, proposer and a seconder. We've got one there. I can a vote, please. Okay.
As part of the Chair, thank you, well done.
Okay, so it's still open for debate. Has anybody got a motion in mind, or do you want to?
Yeah, bearing in mind the finances that we have in budget here, I would like to put forward a motion to say that we will be prepared to pay for half the funding, which would be 93,000, and at the same time for the clerk to work with the neighbourhood, with the Pride in Place, to seek match funding for that 93,000, therefore providing the full amount that the gentleman's need.
And we are still willing to go to membership.
Yeah.
What we didn't want to do, we didn't too keen on it because there's always going to be people that are willing to contribute and those that are not, and then there's sort of the unfairness comes in. If we did a loan system on that, then it incorporates, it brings in FSA, financial services.
So hopefully, Chair, through this route by providing half, and then the clerk working towards the other half with the Pride in Place people. That should
I think Councillor Wilson has something that's
through the chair. Through the chair, Pride in Place don't come into any funds until April next year, and the first 2 years of funding, that's capital funding, is already spoken for. So it wouldn't be until 3 years before Pride in Place could potentially. So I know what you're, but I'm just saying if we did that, the motion wouldn't be achievable because the Pride in Place board don't have any money for that type of thing until at least 3 years.
Give us 50% funding there. I'll still went back to the board and we would try and do the rest of the 50% with back to membership.
Come speaking now. Okay, yeah, right, so I have to stop you from speaking now because the standing orders are back. Thank you anyway. Okay, I'm sorry, Councillor.
Second his motion.
Has anybody else got anything else first before we... Councillor Howell?
Just to clarify, to see my round, when they said hey, to membership, I think the number was if every member paid £300, they're clear. If we pay half and they pay £150, which obviously makes life a lot easier. And going back to the previous conversation, Bexhill is young and old, and I fully agree with the seafront. And if we can help out in any way, I know Bowls is not exclusively old, but you know it's open to all. But that does provide a valuable service, especially in the winter. People go to be warm, socialise, active, all that. And I think we need to keep that in mind as well. And if that can help, then I think it's something we took that. But I'm right in thinking that, Coke, that's my point. That if we was to have about half there.
Yeah, he said 640 members, yeah.
Exactly.
So, Councillor Kim, are you able to adjust that to fit in with the membership rather than going to the Pride in Place?
Yeah, I can adjust my wording on that then. I propose that the Town Council awards half the amount 93,000, and the clerk works with the indoor bowling club to seek match funding elsewhere for the other half.
Is there a second on that? Councillor Crotty.
That's a bit fashion.
There's,
I think there's another question.
oh,
Can we still debate it, Chair?
yeah, all right, yeah, I think you can still debate it, but yeah. Okay, so I'll go to Councillor Bennett. Well, Councillor
Well,
Foss.
and all I was going to say was, yeah, the half sounds good. I mean, bearing in mind the financial figures down here, we could go to the whole lot of shield funding anyway. And with half of it, I mean, if they were to take a loan or whatever, then the members would have to pay, maybe pay a little bit more of the loan over 3 years or whatever, would obviously be like a mortgage and cut that down. I mean, it's a bookie that RDC couldn't sort of match fund in the beginning. That was what I initially had scribbled down on it. But yeah, I mean, it is a very useful facility for the town. I'm not a big, the one exam car club will be there every month.
Yeah.
So it is a huge facility. Yeah, it is worth some supporting, but obviously we can't do.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Councillor Jacqueline.
And definitely would support being given the full amount, and I'm not sure about giving them half. Councillor Goss has just half answered my next question, which is it would be good to see some evidence of general public benefit as a result of the money that we give. But I'm still not quite convinced we should give half.
Okay. So, Councillor Hunt.
Yeah, just on what Councillor Jacqueline's there was saying. For me personally, it's almost like they've come to us. We've approached two different people, and there's no contingency. If we say no, there's no other contingency. And for me, to raise that sort of money or to hand over that sort of money for one project, when I don't personally feel that any other avenues have really been explored to raise money or anything like that, I think it's a lot of money to give out.
Okay, Councillor Byrne. Sorry.
Thank you, Chair. On Councillor Jacqueline's point, I've attended several non-bowls related functions at the Indoor Bowls Club, and it is a very good facility. Whether Bexhill or whether the club or Bexhill other voluntary organisations make as much use of it, I don't know. But certainly it has the potential to be a very good venue for all sorts of things, and I would hope that if they achieve the funding, that they raise their game in terms of marketing the space to other people. But it has the potential to be a real community benefit.
Okay, Councillor Goss.
2 quick points. One is that they have a restaurant in there, which I didn't realise for a long time is open to the public. If they were publicised that a bit more, then they will probably get a lot more take-up of that. And the other thing is, one financial point that was noted down here is what would be left for other applications. What we normally have as a contingency for other applications. I know it's how long is a piece of string, but is there any sort of history in what we're likely to
This is the first time we've been awarding SIL funding in this way, Councillor Goss. So it's a great question, but the answer is there isn't a precedent for you to follow on this occasion, but I completely understand your question. Many of you may have been working this out already, but having started with 140,496.21, it goes to 105,496.21 after the 35,000 Bexhill Heritage. So 93,000 would leave 12,500 roughly of the pot left. In terms of how SIL funding works, we will get further awards from Rother District Council later in the year, but that would only leave 12,000 until there is a further SIL funding from Rother. We don't have any control about how much we get, if that makes sense. And the SIL is generated by development, paid to the planning authority automatically as a legal requirement of the development, and then as a parish council legally, or they were called a town council, we get a proportion of those funds. So it's completely outside of our control when we get a fiver or 200 grand when they give us the money. So we can't say with certainty how much funding there will be in the future. All we do know is that more funds will come through in October, but it's hard to say at this stage how much that would be. If we pass this motion, we would have £12,496.21 left in the fund until any more is received. Hope that helps clear that up.
I am, yes, please. Observations. I'm all for looking at sustainability, and 700 odd panels on the roof is brilliant for looking after the future of the Indoors Bowls Club. I think to give half to me and only leave 12, 13, 14,000 pounds, I think half would be too much. I haven't evidenced at all that the Bowls Club, and I have been there, the Astronomical Society have their meetings there, and it's a brilliant facility. So there's a bar, there's a small restaurant, and it is open to anybody. So it's a brilliant asset for our town. To have 640 members is more than I would suggest any other club in the town has, but it does seem an awful lot. And where I'm struggling is we all want to object to new planning applications in this town, and if we don't agree to planning applications, we don't get any SIL money. So we want our cake of not having big developments, but we want the money that big developments provide to us, and we can't have our cake and eat it in the world. So if we block planning, we'll get less money to spend on other people's roofs. So I would think personally 93,000 is too much, and I would suggest that what they should be looking at is borrowing money against the future reduction in their energy costs. So through Energise South East, they get paid money through their sub-metering. That money goes into their bank accounts. They borrow against that, and it doesn't actually cost anything until that money's paid off. There's some other things that can be done. So I half agree with Councillor Prim that our clerk could work with them, and there's something around borrowing money against future income from Energise South East, because that is free money that they're given by the free installation of the solar panels. So why can't they use that towards paying for a new roof, or some of it, and then debentures from members, a combination of those three? That's what I would suggest.
Okay. Well, we still have a live motion here, so and it's been seconded. So
I would put a counter proposal that we include working with Energise South East to borrow money against future energy income to contribute towards it.
Are you willing to change it?
There's no need for a counter proposal, because my wording was that the town clerk works with other people to so it's there. I suggest
I've made my point. I'm sure the clerk has.
Councillor Jacklin, and then we'll go to.
I think if Councillor Plim's motion isn't passed, I would like to propose a second one, which is for a lower amount, with the club to work with them to bring back a more developed plan where we contribute a quarter or a third. But let's see what Councillor Plim's motion.
Okay, Councillor Jason hasn't spoken yet.
I wasn't speaking, it's just on procedure. Surely Councillor Jackson should be proposing an amendment now. You voted on before.
Councillor Drayson, sorry, I believe that, appreciate your point, but I believe that Councillor Jacklin is saying that he, because of the amount of Councillor Plim's motion, he would feel no choice but to vote against that motion. And an amendment can't negate a motion. So Councillor Jacklin is procedurally correct. In other words, if people do not want to give, so if councillors wish to give half the amount, they have a motion on the table in front of them, which the chair will take a vote on in a minute, through the chair. If councillors do not wish to award £92,000, the procedural thing to do is to vote against Councillor Plim's motion, and then any other further motions can then be considered once that has happened. So, but an amendment, without being too nerdy about it, an amendment can't negate a motion, and that amendment would negate the motion, so it can't be an amendment.
Even if, sorry, just to check, so even if the amendment was a lesser figure, that would be negating the motion.
Well, that would be a matter for Councillor Plim to amend his own motion to a lower figure for that to be considered. But so that was. Hope that will make sense, councillors. You're clear on the way ahead through the chair. Thank you.
Councillor Jacklin did say if this fails, so yeah. So I think we should go to the vote now.
Yes.
So all of those in favour of Councillor Plim's motion?
1, 2, 3. Are there any more? 4? Does anybody see anyone other hands?
All of those against?
4. That's 4 in favour. Against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 8 against. Okay, so the motion...
Okay, so the motion has fallen, so...
Okay, so Councillor Jacklin might wish through you, Chair, to propose a motion.
Sorry, can I see what Councillor Jackson...
Yes.
Okay,
interest, because of the interest. Yes, that would be Councillor Timpey, that himself who declares an interest.
Okay.
So that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. Yeah, Councillor
My
Jackson.
motion is that the town clerk works with the applicant to produce a more satisfactory application for a lower amount. If he feels that we need an amount like 25% or a third, is
Councillor Alf.
There is going to have to be some work done on behalf of the organisation. I mean, we've all heard today from Councillor Byrne that it's a possible great facility because they're not utilising it to what they could do. We've heard from Councillor Goss that he just fact, even though it's been to meeting there, he just found out that the rest of it is open to the public. It sounds like there's a lot of work that can be done in the organisation that will create the funding for themselves as well to at least start that step on the ladder to move forward to what they need. And we need them somewhere along the middle or closer towards the end even. But I think that we have to see more work being done there as well.
Could I put another motion that we say £70,000 from the Town Council with the other words that Councillor Pym put? Would anyone second that as a motion?
What I'm trying to get Councillor Wilson is we could give them 70 or 60 or 50 or 80, but do we know if there is a possibility for them to raise the rest of the funds? Do we know? Yeah. Or do we give that 70 or that 60 with a counterpart saying if you raise your funds?
So alongside what Councillor Pym said to start with, to involve the town clerk working with them to get the rest of it, and we would only give the 70 when they got the rest of it. Is that making sense?
Yeah, I think the work needs to be done that's going ahead. It's no good us giving you 70 and then...
No, we will give us 70 when they've got the other 100 and...
Or some.
Whatever.
Okay.
If I can understand
Councillor
Wilson, my motion was correct apart from the figure.
Yes.
If the figures are amended to 70,000,
correct,
then that would be acceptable to yourself. Then.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll go back to my motion that was failed and submit a second motion, same wording but 70,000.
It's now my
Wilson's motion.
Sorry, Chair, to help you. So in terms of procedurally, let's make sure we go at a steady pace so we're clear on our procedures. We've had a motion that was defeated, okay? Councillor Wilson is putting forward a motion for 70,000 with the words of the motion that was defeated. But Councillor Jacklin has proposed, before that, proposed a motion which you said about asking to do more work to a lower amount could be awarded.
And Councillor L picked up on it.
Yes.
We really need to see this that the organisation has got whatever it is to make it work, and that we're not putting money into something that's going down the pan.
Perfect. So, Councillor, you're seconding, Councillor Jacklin?
Just add one last thing if possible. With all due respect to Councillor Wilson, I know that number of 70 just popped up there during the presentation. No. We need to make sure that that number is a correct number because we're giving quite a lot of money to an organisation whose roof is actually okay now. They just want to upgrade it. It's okay for now. Okay. So we need to work on that number and work out is 70 our number. If I go down.
My logic behind the 70 is that we then we doubled the amount that we've got left in our fund. That was why I came up mathematically with the 70. And that is round about 40% of it. And I think with what I've suggested about working with Energise South East, about borrowing money against future income from the electricity supply that they'll benefit from, plus debentures from members, if they can't find the rest of the money, then I would suggest that potentially the project isn't going to happen because they've got to really, for want of a phrase, be invested in this themselves. This is the second time they've come to us, and unless we give a robust answer to them, rather than just saying, go away and work it and we'll work with you, how many more times are we going to ask them to come back? We've got to really support them somehow, which is why I think that if we did 70,000 with exactly the same words as Councillor Pym said about the clerk working with them and adding the energised South East electricity benefits that they have, I think that would be a reasonable suggestion, and they would see that we put some money on the table. They've now realised that they've got to go and work with us to make it, to go over the line. That's how I came up with the 70.
Okay, I'm not opposed to giving money to help the group. I'm not opposed to that at all. And I think by saying, right, we'll give 70,000, 96,000, we're still putting the ball back in their court. What happens if they come back to us and we've only been able to raise 40? We're still 30,000 pounds short.
Then it doesn't happen a week.
So I don't think that we should give a fixed amount at the moment. I think we should be turning around and saying, you come back to us with some proposals of how you're going to raise some money and where you think that you can get to as a club, whether that's a £100 increase in from each of the members. If they come back to us and said, right, we've got £45,000 now that we've raised, we now only need I think I would be more inclined to turn around and say, yeah, we'll give them the £100,000, or we'll give them the £70,000. At the moment, we're given a figure, we don't even know whether they're going to come back and say, yeah, we can raise the rest. I don't think we should give them a figure at all.
Sorry, through you, Chair, can I just check? I'm hearing some councillors give verbal support to similar motion to the one proposed by Councillor Jacklin, but no one seconded it yet. So I just want to check whether someone is planning to second that motion. Thank you, Councillor Thomas. So we have Councillor Jacklin's motion seconded, and I believe Councillor Wilson's motion was also seconded, Chair. So through you, please feel free to continue the discussions as far as they go, and then we'll vote on it.
Okay, so Councillor Win.
Sorry, we hear the motion again, please.
For Councillor Jacklin. So, okay, let me have a go at the. Shall we try and finalise the wording now, Councillor Jacklin, together, if that's okay?
The town clerk works because at that point you seem to have gone.
That's not in the motion, by the way.
Revised proposal through which the council provides the lowest proportion of the amount, and my suggested figures were between 25% and 33%.
Okay, so that's right. So to the town clerk to work with the applicant, produce a more satisfactory application for the council for a lower amount, suggesting perhaps something like 30%.
Okay, thank you.
That's the motion we have from Councillor Jacklin that's been seconded. We have a motion from Councillor Wilson that's also been seconded, Chair, if that's okay.
Through you, Chair, I can ask a question to the clerk. Can we do that, give a variable amount for you to then decide without giving you delegated authority if that went through?
I don't think that the motion is framed in quite that way, Councillor Wilson. I would take the motion, as I say, that's a guideline. It would really be for the club to come forward with a satisfactory proposal for a lower amount. That's the core of that motion, and that really would be what we would look for the club to do.
Okay, right. Can I just take Councillor Winters because he hasn't he did have his hand up.
Thank you, Chair. I'm a bit confused, actually, if I'm being honest. We've gone around the room so many times. I have to agree with what Councillor Hunt said. You know, if you went to a bank for a bank loan to set up a business and just said, yeah, I want 180 grand, please, but actually we haven't really done anything, we don't really know how we're going to make our money or how we're going to fund anything, you'd get laughed out the building. So I quite agree that the club needs to come forward and say, actually, over the last 6 months, we've marketed the restaurant, we've done this, we've done X, Y, and Z, you know, and we've raised X amount. I personally can't agree with giving a percentage or a figure at this stage. I go to the club, I've used the club on multiple times, so I know what it's about, but unfortunately, I can't give a figure or a percentage when actually they're not helping themselves. You know? Like I said earlier, there are other clubs that I know in Bexhill that are looking for new roofs, and they've done a variety of different activities to try and raise the money, and they're still yet to come to us and ask for any funds. And they certainly haven't asked for the whole lump sum in one go. So, what's the difference?
Councillor Jason, just been...
Yeah, it's not on the actual motion. It's just Councillor Jacklin. I just want to be clear what we mean by the town clerk working with. The town clerk is our town clerk to do council business and not to do the business of Edgerton Park indoor upholstery. So yes, they can liaise, they can consult, but I don't think our tank park should be doing too much work for somebody else.
Are you happy to call it liaise rather than work with?
Yes, because I think you've heard the concerns expressed by a number of different councillors and some ideas as well, which one might have expected the applicant to come up with already.
So Councillor Jack has accepted Councillor Drayson's wording there.
Okay, I'm going to have to wind this up soon. So, Councillor Doss.
Sort of captivated a lot of what's been said, that basically they need to come up with some sort of business plan of how they would plan to fund the whole thing. I'm not sure they're going to get much funding from the power. I think the Energised South East do it for that. Basically sell the power to the grid, and they take the money and they just give sort of free power to the club facility, so they don't actually get an income from it, I don't think. But other than what they say on their power, sort of thing. But yeah, I think they do need to come forward with some sort of plan to say, yeah, okay, we've looked at this, we can get a loan for this, which is reasonable for us to pay back through the members. We could do events, so you open the restaurant or whatever, or advertise it more, to have some sort of plan for their input.
Okay, right, so we have two, Councillor Al.
I'd just like to go back to Councillor Jackman's proposal. We'd be happy to support that if we maybe retract the 30% from that.
Okay.
Maybe not talk about any percent.
So, Councillor Jack, should we remove any actual specific amount? Are you happy with that? He's happy to accept that.
Right, so we still have two motions. So, Councillor Jacklin's first, is it?
Sorry, I think it's through you, Chair, Councillor Thomas.
I'm right, Councillor Cotton to Councillor Thomas.
You're right, we need to move.
Yes, it's Councillor Thomas.
Yes, I agree. We should not extend town park. We get too involved in a cause fund. But should be able to liaise with them and guide them to a better solution. Because if you don't want to work out, I'm going to make it because there's no other organisation that also need funding. And to get it all to negative, is that feel wrong? Because the residents might just query that. Why we're giving someone manager 600 people.
Okay, right. So can we just have Councillor motions, Councillor Jacklin's motion read out again so everybody knows what they're voting on?
And sorry, just to, without saying too much, as clerk of the meeting, obviously, but in my mind, it's hard to vote for both of these motions. Does that make sense? I think if you agree with Councillor Wilson, you're voting against Councillor Jacklin, and vice versa. Just to be clear in terms of procedure, we can pass one of these motions or none of them. That's our choice. So if you support Councillor Wilson, vote against Councillor Jacklin. Support Councillor Jacklin, vote against Councillor Wilson. Is that clear? So all that means, Chair, is that if whichever motion is taken first, if that passes, that will be our motion. But if that is then lost, then the second motion will be considered. I hope everyone's clear on that procedural.
Read out my motion.
So the first motion, we got a formal words for that. Working hard. So the town clerk to liaise with the applicant to produce a more satisfactory application for the council to consider involving a lower amount. Happy with that formal words?
Okay. Through you, Chair, can I just say, this is the second time they've been here. Why didn't we say that the first time? Because we would have been in a different position now, and we didn't. So if we then go away and say something else, they're going to come back and then change the process again. They need the roof, and I see it as we're putting barriers in the way of trying to help them. Because this is the second time. I don't want to be having the same discussion in 3 months.
You can't turn back time.
We do this all the time. Yeah.
Well, if this fails, then we can come back to yours. So I think we've got the motion here now, it's seconded, and I think we need to...
Without Councillor Wilson's motion, so that people who want to support it know...
You can read that out, this.
Yeah.
And Councillor Wilson's motion, that's sorry, we'll scroll, we'll find the right bit of them. There's a lot of contact there.
Councillor Plymouth's original motion,
Yeah.
but with £70,000.
Yeah. So where was Councillor
Sister switch of figures?
That's not me, exactly what
So for clarity, it was 70,000 plus the words that were attached to the motion that fell, which was to support them, etc.
So this would be that the town council award £70,000. Is this one? Yeah, this one. Okay. So the town council awards £70,000, and the liaise with Indoor Bowling Club to seek match funding elsewhere.
Okay, is everyone clear on that? last thing, go.
I'm really sorry.
That's fine, Councillor. Okay.
I was looking for one more amendment for Councillor Jackson.
Yes.
Is we do need to let them know in a way, in a sentence or in a few words, that we expect them to help themselves first as well before we do. There's nothing in there that really states that we expect them to start marketing themselves or helping themselves with this shit before we can. I think I'm satisfied that if the applicant watches this section of the meeting online, he will get that message, and if he doesn't, the application that's submitted will no doubt be unsuccessful.
All right. Chair, vote.
Right, okay, so we're going to start with Councillor Jacklins. So all of those in favour?
Over Councillor Jackson, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you.
Thank you.
Then against that? 3.
Yeah, against Tom.
1, 2, 3, 4. That's the 12 councillors who can vote. That's the 12 councillors. So that motion is passed, Chair.
Okay.
That's the thought. Okay. Well done.
All right. So, moving on to item 10 is reports from councillors. Before calling up the division county councillors, I would just like to say that I do feel that you were given a bit of a harsh time at the first meeting, and it pleases me greatly with the work most of you have done to date, especially the transparency around the highways issues and allowing us to see exactly what is coming down the line. So thank you for that. And yeah, can you please come forward?
Mr Deputy Mayor, thank you very much for allowing me to speak today. And you'll have my deepest sympathy. I know exactly what you've just been through. I went through it.
And I watched you go through it as well.
Except that I had 50 of them and 3 missions. And what have I done? Well, it seemed like a lifetime ago that I was here. But actually, it's 2 months ago. The day following your full council, I was elected as chairman of the council and chaired that full council, and since then I've chaired a second full council. I had Ripley welcoming the Duchess of Gloucester into the county, who opened a new facility. Now, it's the page. Showed the new facility at Chaley Heritage, which was a wonderful occasion. It was for an indoor facility, and it was the one day this summer that it poured with rain. So it proved it was well worthwhile. I had the privilege of being invited to a 100th birthday party at Ashdown Forest, of Winnie the Pooh, where I was joined by Her Majesty Queen Camilla, who cut the cake, and we had a wonderful, wonderful day. I can find one, please. If not, I'll do it. I've held a reception for the civic leaders of the county in Upfield, which I was very pleased that you could join me there. And I'm here tonight to ask for your help. I have the privilege of being able to put on receptions for volunteers in the county, and the first one I intend putting on is at the Manor Bar in Bexhill. So I will welcome anybody putting forward the name of a volunteer, somebody who goes out of their way, working for nothing, to improve the life and skills of the people of Bexhill and anywhere in the county. All that you need to do is put their name in an email with a short resume of what they do, send it to chairman@eastsussex.gov.uk, and the title should be Volunteers Reception. I will do the rest.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your time.
I see lots of scribbling. Thank you. Are you able to take questions? So, does anything have any questions on anything?
Where are you?
Councillor Jacklin.
Who are you? Who are you? I'm about in Kenwood. You must remember me from the meetings we went to. I'm the chairman of East Sussex County Council.
Okay. It's more fuzzy practice to people watching. Yeah. Yeah.
Is that right?
Any other
questions?
No? Okay, thank you. And call the next councillor up, please.
Evening, councillors. Victoria Carson, Bexhill South. Last month I said I wasn't talking about potholes. This month I'm only talking about roads, and that is pretty much anything to do with roads. So the first thing I would like to talk about is the elephant of all roads in the room, and that is Buckhurst Road. I've been in touch with the highways, and I wanted to find out exactly where we stand with Buckhurst Road, because it causes so many issues for people. As people may or may not know who are watching at home, the ongoing issues are attributed to a natural spring. The treatment options for Buckhurst Road are also restricted due to a shallow, high-pressure gas main. In 2017, the section outside the flats received, the flats at the top of the road received target reconstruction using in-situ recycling. In November 22, the site was called to investigate recurring failures. January 2025, large trial holes were dug again to try and find the issues causing deterioration and possible leaks. And in May 25, more extensive investigations were carried out, as well as the installation of a filter drain. Following that work, there was confidence that the water issues had been resolved. I think we know that possibly they haven't been. And because of that, the Buckhurst Road was added to the 26-27 work programme. Unfortunately, the scheme had to be postponed because water became present again. This is with South East Water. They have been contacted to request and requested that they carry out investigations. We believe that that has happened, and we are waiting to hear back from South East Water. So things are happening. There's still a lot of work to do to get there. As soon as we hear from South East Water, they will come back to me and let me know. They have already got a draft engineering programme ready to go, but they can't put it out to tender until we get confirmation. So that is Buckhurst Road. It is being looked at and being seriously looked at. We also have Eversley Road. 2 voids currently under investigation. One of the defects is associated with the damaged foul pipe. The foul drainage is Southern Water. We are waiting feedback from Southern Water regarding the proposed repair programme. In addition, the extent the remaining repair works required to the voids will require more extensive engineering solution once that's been taken, once that's taken place and the underlying drainage issue has been resolved. Not available. I would also like to remind residents that the consultation for the parking zone down Richmond Road closes on the 31st of July, so please can people get their thoughts in there. Also, Councillor Lee isn't here tonight. I just wanted to make him aware that I have put forward a request with Highways and Transport about drop curbs and about some solutions that he has submitted, and to look to see if there is any accessibility funding available to help pay for those. I'm waiting on that. And finally, something of concern to our Sackville councillors is Delaware Parade. There's been a lot of antisocial behaviour, driving, racing, highly dangerous. I have put that towards the Director of Transport down at the Council. The solution that was suggested to me by the former Chief Inspector who lives in the area was that speed bumps and a reduced speed limit, speed bumps completely across the road. I've asked for feasibility on that to see if that is something that they can look at. So lots of things are being looked at, are being dealt with, and hopefully we will get the right solutions and we'll get them in a timely fashion. So,
Does anybody have any questions for Councillor Carson?
Hello.
I'll take Councillor Jason first.
Well, the Richmond Road consultation is only about the fees, isn't it?
Well, I'm not 100% sure on that.
I'll put you something in.
Please do, just in case.
Because it's so easy, and I mean, I hate Facebook and stuff, but it's so easy for people to say, oh, there's still a hole in Eversley Road, without understanding the amount of work and effort to try and solve the problem. And the same with Buckhurst. You know, we can't move the spring, we can't move the main without an incredible amount of work. So thank you for updating us and explaining fully what's going on. I just point members to my motion in September about Buckhurst Road. Yeah. Let's hope something's happened by then.
Right, okay. I better look at that, no.
Councillor Crotty.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you again. Yeah, like Councillor Grayson said, the updates, because I know that the Buckhurst Road has been a big problem. They cut the road off at the top end, did some work, and never got back to find out what the outcome was. With Buckhurst Road, could you not split it in two, where do the bottom half with all the potholes? Because I've had people complain that when the heavy goods vehicles go up that road, it's cracking their walls.
I believe, and I think Councillor Morley may know this, I believe that there are pothole repairs scheduled for August.
Right.
So as a separate issue to the bigger.
Thank you. And with Eversley Road, I'm glad we've put the metal caging back up.
Yes, and I believe you have this to do with that.
Because I had a resident complain that people are still driving on the pavement past it, and I noticed coming past today that on the right-hand side, it's coming away again. It's breaking up even more. So nearest to the car park side, it's coming away.
Would you mind emailing that to me?
Yeah, sure. I'll take a photograph again, because it's good that the metal cage is back up there, but people are still going on pavement.
In fact, I think at the last council meeting we were talking outside as someone shut up.
Yes.
The edge of it, yeah. It's not very...
Thank you.
OK, Councillor Al.
The last two councillors, thank you for the information. We appreciate that and hard work. Back to Buckhurst Road again. We have got an application in Highways, I believe, for the crossing by the school there.
I have responded to your clerk this afternoon, actually, with regard to that, and I'm more than happy to come and meet and talk about that and see. I have also actually emailed Highways today as well to ask them for an update on the zebra crossing.
That's something how positive it looks. Obviously, we were asking for an update. We haven't got one yet.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Councillor Wilson.
I'm going to be nice. Buckhurst Road, why don't we just close the road until it's mended? I'll just put it out there. We've closed other roads. People are damaging their cars. People will find a way of getting around. It's dangerous. You're going all over. I'll just throw that out there as an option. The other thing is Eversley Road. If you go out there now, there is literally 4 inches of tarmac on top of gravel. Most of this is beach area, which is why we have so many problems. It's not surprising, and it will go on forever and ever and ever. These are not one-offs, and I feel for anyone who's got to find a solution to it, because literally that is on the beach. You've got literally 4 inches of road, and then it's and as Councillor Crotty says, it's now falling into the void, so it's just getting bigger and bigger because the gravel's just falling down as the sun dries it out. So I don't know what the answer is, and I feel for anyone who's got to come up with a plan, because these voids will be coming up everywhere in Bexhill because of how it's
That's why we have engineering at the highways, and we hope that they'll find the solutions for us.
Yeah.
Councillor Thomas.
Highways, you have the test body of water over top to determine the source of the water.
It's a natural spring.
There's a natural spring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's a question. So we'll call Councillor Moore. One more then. Sorry, Councillor Byrne. Sorry.
Sorry. A while ago, I believe that the new council was looking at an alternative to patching. To contract now with the patching says if it's this big and this big, we patch it. That was just leading to repatch. Is the council still looking at renegotiating and maybe looking at a totally different way of doing things rather than
Yes. Councillor Woolley was at Balfour Beatty last Friday. I think, yes, Councillor Morley will know more about that. So I will pass potholes back to Councillor Morley.
Thank you.
Well, on the chair, as you come in, I wonder if we can bottle that springboard and sell it. All right, Dale,
Myself the problem.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor.
Councillor Morley.
Good evening, Deputy Mayor. Good evening, councillors. Councillor Pete Morley, East Sussex County Council. Following on from last month, not so many potholes coming up through this month on works plans. We've got curb repairs, Sea Road, Southern Avenue, footway pothole repairs. We've got quite an amount of vegetation and obstructions. Ellerslie Lane, tree overgrowth, cutback. Gunter's Lane, the same. The Gorseway, same again, tree overgrowth and cutback. Turkey Road, tree obstruction removal. I'm going to just do Councillor Walmsley's because he's away on holiday at the minute. Bancroft Road, footway pothole repairs. Bancroft Road, footpath 3A, tree overgrowth clearance. Glover's Lane, bollard repairs. London Road, carriageway pothole repairs. London Road to Bancroft Road, footpath, tree overgrowth clearance. And London Road, Seal Avenue, tree overgrowth clearance. Ninfield Road, you've got quite a bit going on there. 2 lots of road markings going on. Some street lighting and some street lighting construction. And 2 carriageway pothole repairs. Going back to what Councillor Carson said about Balfour Beatty, we did have a session last week where we basically went in and renegotiated what we're going to do. The thought is, from now on, for public perception and also for road users and all the rest of it, and for cost as much as anything, we're now going to be moving to not just doing one pothole there. If there's some within a radius, they're all going to be done as a section, so we'll be doing sections of road at a time. I'm not sure how quickly that's going to come in, but that has been negotiated, and they have been told that the process is going to change. I understand also that there's going to be a new section of finishing on the roads. So where we've got roads that are starting to crumble, there will be some base repairs going on, and effectively there's a new system that they will be trialling out, which I believe costs a little bit more, but it will. It's effectively going to repair whole sections, and what it will do is last. It's considered to be able to last for 2-3 years minimum. So it's like a surfacing section over the top, and if you've got substrate that's not actually broken away but is starting to go, solves that. It's like a rubberised solution, which we saw when we were out of Balfour Beatty a little while back. As far as pedestrian safety, I was working with Councillor Peters relating to repairs to zebra crossings. I believe we've managed, with Councillor Peters, fantastic detail he provided me, we managed to get the failed Belisha beacons working again, and I understand that there's a whole project going to be going ahead to remark the pedestrian crossings. Aside from all of that, I've been dealing with quite a few requests from residents, including clearing nettles on footpath 13 at Hopkins Close for a disabled lady that was getting her hands stung every time she went through, so we managed to get that done last week, and some other bits and pieces. We did a little bit of a litter pick on Barnhorn Road. We've been working with where are we? Yeah, been working with Sussex Police following reports of antisocial behaviour on Rosewood. Not that I can get too involved with that, but I was just following up some residents' queries and complaints there to try and see if we can move stuff on, and it appears that they have been in contact and things are happening. It's not something I can actively get involved in, but I can certainly press for the residents on that. Been to North Eye today with Homes England to have a little bit more of a look around and get an understanding of what's going to be going on there. And I understand that there's going to be further public consultations in September about what's going on. Our concerns with that primarily are to do with the road infrastructure. Certainly having had another accident up by the garage, I believe, last week. My concern is, as much as anything, is how we're going to access the road, and I want to see what the road improvements are going to be there relating to that. Had a little bit of a meeting with the rector of St Mark's today just to discuss a few bits and pieces and have a bit of a chat with him. One of the things that you'll find that I'm getting involved with quite a lot, and it's going to be something that's going to help, hopefully, local businesses and local residents that are perhaps looking to get back into the workplace. We announced last Friday the launch of the Workwell scheme in conjunction with East Sussex Hospitals and also Surrey Hospitals. And the idea of that is to help people with musculoskeletal injuries and also mental health injuries get back into the workplace. So if you know of anyone that can benefit from that, please drop me a mail and I can see what I can do to help with that. That also works alongside skills boot camps, which is another initiative that's going on, which again I'm heavily involved in promoting, and I'd really like to see some Bexhill people benefiting from that. That also goes into our old skills funding as well. Those two initiatives can be used in conjunction with the Workwell programme, so it's very, very much something that we can promote, and businesses that are looking for staff with mentors and all the rest of it. This is a good scheme to help people back into the workplace. Another thing that's going on with me at the minute is business growth and apprenticeships. Today I was made the chair of the SBSA business forum, if you like, and with that I'm going to be looking at growth of businesses across Sussex, but obviously my eye is on Bexhill as much as possible. There's just been a new apprenticeship scheme launched by the government, and also there are good incentives for local employers if we know anyone that is looking to take on apprentices there as well. What else have we got? So, as I said, I've mentioned Balfour Beatty and the difference in the approach on that. And the last thing I want to mention is there's a programme on at the moment on, I think it's on Channel 4, Sussex, Jewel of the South Coast. If you get a chance, have a watch of it, because it's our area, and I'm hoping that the more we get involved with the Sussex and Brighton Strategic Authority, the more input we'll be able to perhaps get on there for Bexhill. So, there we go.
Okay, does anyone have any questions? Oh, Councillor.
Can I just make an observation if I can? Myself and Councillor Goss dialed into, it came from Highways England, I think, where they did a strategic overview of all the accident points from Pevensey roundabout right the way through to Ravenside. So if you're looking at accident hotspots and stuff, there's been a massive bit of work done.
It was one of their consultants.
Yeah, they've employed a consultant.
Well, one of their consultants.
And this is National Highways, isn't it?
I think it was National Highways, just from the A road, but it has interlinks with other roads.
Yeah.
So would it be helpful if I dug that out?
Yeah, if you could, that'd be very useful.
You don't want to repeat it all.
Certainly, the other thing that's just moved across into the Sussex and Brighton Strategic Authority today is transport for the South East. That did fall under East Sussex, but that's just passed over today into the Strategic Authority. So I believe the officers from East Sussex will still be pretty much running that, but I do know that the funding pot is deemed to be considerably better. And one of the other things that may be worth mentioning, and certainly with things like our local buses and the community bus, there is going to be a scheme launching, and it's going to come out in the next day or two, of like reporting to try and figure out how we can best make use of the buses, and there's funding that's been put in place for that, but that will be launched shortly.
My other observation is, apprenticeships. I noted today that East Dean Cricket Club have an apprentice that's been given to them, paid for by the government. We have lots of sports organisations in Bexhill. Would you be able to direct some apprenticeships in their direction?
I can certainly look at it. I can put it to...
They have to look after their own pitches and all the rest of it, and it's just run by volunteers. And if there was some apprentices out there that could support those clubs, maybe one between 3 clubs, I don't know, but I think it's something...
Certainly, my son was involved with something like that at Eastbourne Borough. He was on an apprenticeship there.
Yeah.
So, providing it can be backed with something like a sports science apprenticeship, I think that's probably something that's highly likely. But I can certainly, if you pass the information on, I can put you in.
Thank you.
Okay, we're starting to get short on time, so we've got Councillor Jason.
Just very quickly, I'll comment about the 18.9. Contact the MP, because I went last year, the year before, time does go quickly, specific on accidents from Pevensey to Mr. Common and the hotspots there, and the fact the police couldn't do signs, they couldn't do the speed limit, couldn't they? Because most of the problem is via that error. Contact Kieran Rose and he can update you on that.
Okay, certainly we'll do. And also, I've been looking at the Spindlewood, the junction proposed for Spindlewood as well, and that one falls into all of this as well.
All right, last one then, Councillor Thomas.
Yes, is there any prospect, what the version was said, about taking through Claret right away from Bexhill and Hastings instead of all going through? If you only need one hiccup, west of Little Common, and everything comes from the cells. So, I've been trying to find what the designated route for the South Cliff Expressway is. And I can't find it. Is there any prospect in the near future or distant future or something of actually finding out where the designated route should be so we don't build housing on top of it?
I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work at the moment, but that falls, I would imagine, under Transport for the South East, which I know they're looking at future routes, and certainly with SBSA we're looking at other options to do with the transport infrastructure.
Sorry, Chair, just a quickly, and also Robert, local plan, a lot of the development in Bexhill, rather have said we need a bypass, Bexhill-on. The government have just cancelled another major road somewhere else in the country, but it is part of Rother's emerging local plan that to free up stuff down there, you need a better road than the A259, but the chances of getting it would be nil.
I absolutely agree with you on that.
Nothing right on the con. Straight through.
I think that's... Thank you. So we're moving on to district councillors' reports. Is there any? No. District. Anybody? No? Okay, now on to town councillors' reports. Any? Councillor Carroll?
I'd just like to say that, for me personally, a big thank you to the Heart of Sydney and everyone involved for the new hub that's been built in Sydney, and they literally made dreams into reality. It wasn't an easy task, and it hasn't been time. I think it proved that when many people work well together and the money is spent in the right area, something very beautiful can be built. And also a big shout out as well to the London Philharmonic Orchestra to actually take time out of their life to come to Sydney to put on. I think it was amazing. Put on a performance. Everyone involved, big pat on the back all round, whether it's small, little, big, is very important. But just remember, it is called the Sydney Hub, but it's open to Bexhill community for that reason, like for the reason of it will make life better.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And the Delaware Pavilion that supported all that as well.
One that's improved, but you've got a better list out, it would never end.
Absolutely.
A lot of people passed the timescale. A lot of people passed along the way, and they need to be on there.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Councillor Potty.
Thank you, Chair. Good news. The Bexhill Banking Hub is found a permanent home at number 67 Devonshire Road. It's going through the planning process as we speak, so that should be open in the next couple of months. The only thing it won't have is that ATM, which is a shame. So that's one thing. Well done to the town rangers for the planters. They look really lovely around the town, especially for the Bexhill Carnival. Also, well done to Bexhill Carnival, a great event this week, for the whole week of the Carnival. Well done to the Youth Club Pit Stop, and also the Rotary Club for winning awards for the Carnival as well.
Okay. You finished?
Yep.
Yeah. Anybody else? Town? No? Okay, thank you. We move on to item 11, the town clerk update.
Thank you, Chair. Happy to take my report as read and take any questions from councillors. Thank you.
Are there any questions? Councillor Plim?
Yeah, the ongoing discussion about the school crossing at Buckhurst Road. It said on here, including a meeting to be arranged, including county councillor and ward councillors. Will that be town ward councillors? Yeah.
Any other questions? No? You happy to? Yeah. Item number 12, to consider next steps for the civic history booklet. A motion is required to either accept the recommendation or to suggest an alternative. The options to distribute the book freely or to sell the book at selected outlets within the town. The recommendation was to distribute them freely, as the retail option would create significant challenges, but that is for us here to decide tonight. Councillor Plim, you've been heavily involved in this. Would you like to lead on this?
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of work gone into this, but I honestly don't think we should be distributing the whole thing free to everybody. The motion sort of, I think, is restricted to 100 booklets, and to be honest with you, given the amount of people we've probably got, like councillors would probably warrant to have a copy. I would suggest that most probably ex-mayors would probably get a copy free at the library, the museum, and there's the rub with regard to purchasing the copy, because we haven't got the facilities to sell ourselves, but no doubt we can possibly go and talk to the museum in order to facilitate the sales of copies on our behalf. So I'd like to see it go down that route, actually. And by all means, if we've got some to on display at the Bexhill Day event, will be good. But again, I'm very reluctant to be there giving them out to people, because I foresee a rush of people coming towards us, all wanting a copy. So many people being upset that they haven't got a copy. I wouldn't want to upset anybody in that way. And I think if you get to the point where you're distributing them out free, it diminishes the value of the item. So I think we need to come to some sort of arrangement as to the cost and retail value, and no doubt advice would be given by the museum as to how much that would be.
Any other, Councillor Jacklin?
Excuse me, having written it, it seems a pity to limit its distribution, and I do believe that there is a market for it. Whether that be £5 or £10, I don't know. So I would be in favour of printing more if it were possible to find a way of selling them and for us to get the money. I'm aware of 2 or 3 books at least having been printed recently about Bexhill pubs. I'm fairly sure they printed more, at least 100. I can find out. Yeah. But I do believe that people would pay for it.
Okay, Councillor Chason?
I think the idea behind the 100 was to test the waters. And one alternative would be have the 100 printed but not give them out, but use, for example, Bexhill Day to let people pre-order. And then we could print them to demand, and they could pay that way, although it doesn't involve the hub taking money. They could pre-order and we could do it via back. And assess it, because I say it's about testing the water, about how much interest there would be. But I think very clever observation about the pub boys. It's wide, isn't it?
Councillor Temping?
Thank you. So this booklet hasn't actually been printed yet, or has it? We haven't got a copy.
We've all been distributed we haven't had a hard copy.
No, it's not been a hard copy.
We've had distributed a draft of it.
Right,
We've all seen that.
Yeah. So it would be difficult for someone at the Bexhill Day to look at that and think they want to order one. You would need an actual booklet. How much does it actually cost? Have we had it costed, the printing?
I haven't got those figures in front of me. I wouldn't know whether the clerk...
But I do think, I agree with whoever said that, I mean, there is a value to this. And, you know, people will pay for books that are about Bexhill. So I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to sell it.
No, I don't.
And if residents would be worried about that, whatever we made could go into our grants funding. You know, I mean,
exactly.
So
I think the idea was at the last Engagement Communication Committee, where if we were going to sell, that any profit raised would go into maintaining the regalia. But I fully understand that the amount we raised would probably be quite minimal anyway. But there was also some other people that we'd probably give a distribution free to, and that was the 2 towns that we're twinning with, and the two Bexhill townships in Australia and Canada. I mean, it seemed to do that.
So I think Councillor Goss.
Well, I was going to ask the same question initially as Councillor Deppert of what the sort of cost that it eats and what it could sort of potentially sell for. I think you shouldn't be given away on the stand or something, because lots of people will grab it, thinking the big, which would be quite a waste if it's an expensive thing to produce. So,
do you have the breakdown of that?
Well, the short answer is it costs a few £100 to get for us to produce the 100 copies for Bexhill Day, which, as the report says, is within our budget. So it's not additional cost. It isn't really an additional cost to us to produce the 100 copies of Bexhill Day, which is what is being done as is described within the report. In terms of going forward, then obviously if we want to print more beyond the 100, then we'd obviously look at the costs of that. But as I say, the purpose of this report, and it's serving its purpose, is say to you, here is a suggested way forward, please suggest an alternative. And that's exactly what you do. So if we can pull that together at some point into a motion straightforward, then we're getting what we need to get to.
Can I ask that the 100 that you had done, I mean, is this a hardback or is it a...
We haven't had them.
What is it?
They haven't
What
still
does it look
proposed,
like?
wasn't it?
The 100,
they haven't been.
Is it like a paperback?
That's in copy, isn't it? So that's a softback, isn't it? It's browsing.
It's a softback, okay.
Okay, Councillor Wilson.
I may be wrong in this, but members of probably Councillor Prim will know, I'm sure if you sell a book, you have to have an IE number or a passport to be able to sell it. So we may have some restrictions unless we register that, and we won't be able to do that before Bexhill Day, I suspect.
Yeah.
So the Bexhill Day could be a sort of tempter to people. So if we were to give away a few to start with, then go through the registration of it, and I think there is value in this, and I think residents would expect us, if we've done all this work and it costs money to print it, to get some revenue back for it. But I think we've got to register it first and do that. Okay, so we could do it as a tester, if you like.
Okay, Councillor Carroll.
Two things. We thought about doing a suggested donation. Or the other one, if you're going to do a free one, why don't we do a digital free one with a QR code?
Yeah. That's something I guess we wouldn't have an issue with that, would you?
No.
No? Right, so Councillor Tracy, and then we need to...
You say that it's included in this report type, that, and that's... The clerk has gained 3 people. We can print it as a result of the committee saying it couldn't get it done. If we approve it tonight, it hasn't been ready for Bexhill Day. It can be. It's just said there's £1,500. So the idea tonight is for us to say, yes, go ahead with that printing, or don't go ahead with that. I think if we start now upping or lowering the figure or getting it complicated, we're going to be missing Bexhill Day. And I suspect I would go, let's print the 100. You don't have to give away the 100. You can only give away 2 of them. So keep the others as examples. But I would suggest that we go with, give the town clerk the authority to pick who he thinks the best, because I think they're all similar. They're within the budget, and that we get them ready for Bexhill Day. And to answer Councillor Timpey, they're very much like the old ones, but back book, like the old one that I've got somewhere. And then it's not twinning with those towns, it's a friendship.
Friendship.
That's like Councillor Pym, and then we go for a motion. Yeah, so
I was going to come forward with a motion now, if that's okay. I'd like this council to utilise both distribution pathways here, because we want to give some away, and we want to sell some. But I would leave that to the town clerk. All I would say was the wording that says distribute the booklet for free to the public, it should be crossed out to the public, because that means we're distributing it to everybody. I would say distribute the booklet free to current councillors and staff, and former mayors and trustee mayors. So the figureheads of previous councils that are still around. Yeah, probably. Other than that, the wording's perfectly okay. And the second part of it, B, sell the booklet at selected outlets of the town. That leaves that open for you to sort of find out which outlets are more suitable for us to work with.
Okay, with that.
Rather than... That's quite a long motion, so let me try and...
Well, it's exactly what you got here. Exactly what you got here. Exactly what you got here, apart from the public. Cross the public out. Do apologise to the public. I didn't mean... but, and put it in current councillors and staff,
you're right.
Former mayors and charter trustee mayors.
Right, so do we have a seconder for that? Anybody? Those of Councillor Timpey.
It does need to be on there, subject to the legal requirements of the side of the booklet.
That's a given, I think, because,
But it doesn't say it, so it can be done if you don't say it.
Okay, so is that seconded as well, Chair?
Okay, right, so could we have all those in favour then, please?
Great, okay, thank you. Get perfect, what a it. And let the job of me listening. Or is you around?
Item now, we've got left.
6A, we can just...
Oh, we're really, really short on time. So item 13, planning matters. Okay, so A, to consider planning applications for installation of a multi-use games area and associated external ancillary pathways, including B&G at All Saints C of E Primary School. Does anybody want to open on that? Councillor Pym?
Yeah, just to save time, I think we're all going to be in favour of this, so I would propose that we fully support this application.
Okay, Councillor, second, and all of those in favour?
Perfect.
Okay, right. Item B, to consider a response to Rother District Council consultation on the local enforcement plan. To note that Rother District Council are not making the final decision on the plan until August, and that Rother Association of Local Councils have also asked town and parish councils to send in their responses. Anybody?
If I could start this off, this is a massive change because it means that you can't call in any planning application under the number of 9 to the planning authority. It's automatically done by the planning officer. So it restricts any feedback that we can give and comments. I'm not an expert, but we've got 4 that are probably more expert and 1 particular one. I'm just starting the ball rolling. This is quite a change for us because we've set our planning up in a certain way and this changes that.
Councillor Tim?
Yeah, just to clarification on this. Does this affect the way we, as a town council, make any comments or follow through with this process? Because at the moment we are treated like any other member of the public. We don't have any other standing in this aspect at all. So I don't believe this changes our standing at all.
No. I can hear Clark saying no. So no,
not unless I've missed something, Councillor.
Yeah,
I mean, the role of a statutory consultee is the role of a statutory consultee.
Well, exactly. I think we'll go to the head of planning, Councillor Jason. He might have something to say.
Yes, it does. So, Chairman, just as the chair of planning, this is about enforcement plan, not
changes
planning,
the planning,
which obviously I've mentioned if the opportunity came up. The enforcement plan, it specifically asked for our comments, and I don't think we're able to do the collective comments. We have to do it ourselves. But this came as a direct result of the overall scrutiny not liking the plan, and then RALC saying they wanted it to be discussed by town and parish councils. And I think the overall scrutiny also said it needs to go out. So it is there, and I thank you for attaching the enforcement plan. There are concerns over it. Not the only use but it is important that you read it, and if you think, because enforcement, you might be able to say to somebody, okay, you can knock that house down because you didn't do it right, but there's legal people going to go, no, you can't do that, it's not feasible, that's not that. And the ultimate sanction is probably not going to be what we might think it would be. So please have a look at that plan. And yes, as far as planning is concerned, 31st of October, the government's got its way to sort of emasculate even further planning committees. And district councillors will not be able to call applications in. So you can't even tap up your district councillor to say, please call it in, because it won't be. There'll be certain things on Schedule 2 that I and the head of planning have to go through and decide yay or nay, and we've got a feeling we might swap the tree protection orders because that's about the only thing that we go through. So that's beyond us, that's the government, and again, they blamed all the things, or everything that's wrong with planning, they blamed on the 5% of applications that dealt with by planning committee, and not concentrating on the rest of the system. So this one is enforcement, so please have a read of it and put in your thoughts to Barbara.
Okay, Councillor Brown. Councillor Matt.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, I was on the overviewing scrutiny committee that decided it didn't like it. And you're quite right. It's taking stuff away. We had limited enough enforcement powers before this. And so, on the one hand, you think, is there any point in making a noise? Yes, there is. If there's a massive outcry from people at our level of local government, towns and parishes all over the country, then hopefully someone will look again. If not, someone will have to stand up in Parliament and defend the lack of local democracy in planning. So I know it's a bit wishy-washy, but it is one of those things where it's like saying my vote doesn't count. Yeah, probably it doesn't, but if nobody voted, you'd end up probably with a lot we've got now. But yeah, it is worth, if you please read it, because it does put in context, gives you context by which to judge when people phone you up and say, so-and-so's done this and so-and-so's done that, can you do anything? At least you won't waste your time if you say, no, I can't, but you can say, no, you can't in a more informed way. So it's just a good thing for all councillors, both district and town, to read and weep.
Okay, and put in thoughts, because they do change things, they will change things if there's enough.
Large.
Okay, so the general consensus I'm picking up is so to read it and to send comments to Rotherham District Council. Okay, is everyone happy with that?
Through you, Chair, that doesn't deal with 13A though. Sorry, 13B, which is to note while the District Council are not making the final decision, and that ROUC have also asked town and parish councils to send them their responses. So we've got to send our, on behalf of the town council, and all I do here on planning is, well, we haven't got any comments from the parish or town council with regard to this, so it's almost like they want us to pass comment, and if we don't, and we won't be able to on that many more things, so there'll be less opportunity for us to comment. That's my concern. So if somebody puts in a planning application for 8, you won't be able to call it in through your district councillor to the planning committee. It will be delegated to the planning officer.
So do you have a suggestion of what I should put in as a corporate body?
In my opinion, I think we should object to the number 9. How have they come up with 9? Because most builders won't do anything. A small builder will do up to 5 because then you don't make seal payments. Over 5 you make seal payments and then you get bigger builders. So I don't understand why they've come from the number 9. We have to revisit our own policy over how we deal with planning, because I believe it says in there that we talk to our district councillors, and there's no point in doing that now.
Right, Councillor Cleland?
I honestly don't think that refers to this particular policy. This is enforcement.
Well, that is what ROUC are asking for.
But this, we're looking at the local enforcement plan.
Not the changes to planning which government are bringing down.
Which is this, which we've all read.
This is how Rother will
enforce planning.
People who ignored.
Yes, this is
Yours is 15, isn't it? Yours is 6.
So what do we want to report into ROUC then, I guess is my question.
Could I make a suggestion that any councillors that have any comments to make, could they pass them to the clerk and he would forward them to ROUC, rather than spend another half hour reading through it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good idea.
So, yeah, I'm going to move on to item 14. Rotherham District Council Liaison. This is, so this is to receive the report only. It's not open for debate, but you can comment should you wish to do so. But we are running out of time on this. Unfortunately, so I'll just take leave there. Does anyone want to make any comments on it? No?
I'm still very... I'm unaware as where we're going with this process now, especially with the car parks, because there's various sort of aspects of... There seems to be a changing view on different things all the time. But I'm reading through this. It's good that we've got movement now, and it seems to be gaining momentum. There's one item on here, land at Bexhill Down. I wasn't too sure, I haven't had time to find out what land that is on there, but they're saying that they can't transfer an island of land they've got there because of the costs and time and effort to transfer will not be justified.
All right.
What island of land have they got? Have we shown an interest in it? And if we have, they consider that the time and cost and effort to transfer it to us is not justified. Is that what I'm reading into that?
Yeah. No, so I mean, the report refers to the original green list that went through this council some time ago, and is pointing out progress upon that green list and changes from Rother to that list. So one of the 37 items on the green list previously was a small patch of land at Bexhill Down. In fact, I don't know how that was defined. I wasn't here. No. But you guys would know better than me what bit of land at Bexhill Down they meant, right. And therefore whether that's a matter of concern or not, that it's no longer on the list. I mean, I'm just struggling. That's why I put it here, to find out if that is the case.
Yeah, I'm struggling to work out if they got to get rid of it, they're either going to pass it up to another authority.
So what? Yes, sorry,
down to us.
Sorry, Councillor Tim. I think what they're trying to say is that the rest of the land Bexhill Down is owned by East Sussex, so will effectively transfer automatically to the unitary. So therefore, they don't see the point of cutting a little bit off and giving to us because the rest is going to unitary in any case because it's owned by East Sussex County Council now. That's the position. So it's for us to determine whether we let that go or not. And I say, I have to choose my words really carefully because of making sure I'm being completely impartial in my words toward you, in terms of the fact that, but on the one hand, this is telling you that the vast majority of that green list is still there. Yeah, that's what this report is implicitly saying.
Yeah.
So most things are progressing from the green list. These are the few exceptions to it.
Sure.
So it would be for councillors to determine whether this is a significant enough exception or not to worry about. Previously, the councillors were very concerned about Galley Hill Upper Car Park not being part of the green list. That's why concerns were raised, and that's why the next steps are explained within this report. But just really for a matter of transparency of like anything else, when you see the next version of the green list, you'll notice that that item isn't on it anymore. So I'm letting you know that, just in case anybody here thinks, no, we've got to definitely keep that on. Does that help to clarify?
It does, but I'd like to see a little bit more information about what this plot of land is, because there is a cricket pavilion on Bexhill Down. Are we talking about that? Because that is listed separately on the list when I first saw them. There seem to be so many lists going around and so many bits and pieces.
Well, I'll ask Rother for an exact footprint and search.
And I can't understand. They've got to transfer it to somebody, and the costs incurred of transferring it to a higher authority or a lower authority will possibly be the same. And so why do they not think it's worth the time and effort to transfer it to us?
If I can help, Chair, I can answer that. When this first started off 2 years ago, they did say, when they would go down the list, if it was going to cost a lot of money for a 4-foot square piece of land, when they do their further due diligence, they would be removed. And that's obviously what they've decided to do with this. Yeah. It's the legal work involved and the cost behind doing all the research for something that's 4 foot square. I can't imagine it's all of the down, but that's what they did say at the time.
No, but they would have to do that costs anyway, because...
Maybe.
It'd be nice to know what it is anyway for the...
Come on to Councillor Goss.
Part of the problem is that on the green list as it was, there was never any detail. It was just land, land and that. And we always asked for more detail, what it meant, and we never received it.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Councillor Temple.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I think the interesting thing in this report is number 5, Fields of Trust, and the extra costs we're going to have to bear. And I presume there's somewhere we'll put it in the budget for these 8 assets. Because it could be 24 grand or whatever.
Yes.
And just from our own experience, Rother's experience with the Sidley wreck and the problems we've ran into with Fields of Trust, it's not an easy process getting their agreement.
The way it is expected, the town council will pay.
Councillor Jackson.
We're going to have it, so you need to. Well, we're going to have it.
We're like down to 2 minutes. We've got 5.
Should we pause now and ask for an extension?
So, do you get a motion?
Yeah.
Yes. So we're running out of time, so we need to extend. So I need to put somebody put a motion forward to extend.
So we've reached our 2.5 hours. So if some councillors would like to carry on, they need to vote to carry on. That's what the chair has said.
I put a motion to carry on the meeting.
Thank you. And that's
seconded. All those in favour?
Votes. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, well, so
I was happy with the change with a little bit of land beside the big bit of land, because it seemed to make sense that the little bit of land should belong with the big bit of land.
Still, the 8 assets currently scoped for transfer that have got Fields and Trust. What are they? What 8 assets?
There'll be eight of the parks or recreation grounds that already have fields and trust status. We have asked Rother for a list of them, so hopefully I'll be able to give you a bit more information.
I know
quite a lot of open spaces around East Sussex have got fields and trust designation.
I understand.
They usually have a sign on by the gate to tell you.
Yeah, I understand that, but it would be nice to know what they are.
Yeah,
because we might look at that and go, do you know what? It's not worth paying that out. We won't have that then on that particular bit of land.
Exactly. No, that's a fair
Others
point.
we want.
Councillor Chase,
This is for our information, not for decision, because it's interesting. Yeah, we're not only not getting anything that generates income, we're getting something that's going to cost us money.
Oh, well, that's the way it's going to go. That's the way it's going to go.
At some time we need a discussion on this, but this is totally.
Yeah.
So, through you, Chair, if we're just noting, I am disappointed because the first 30-odd items were on the green list, went through Rother's disposal panel.
Yep.
They did all the groundwork. They've now removed stuff off that green list and added stuff that we haven't even talked about yet.
Oh, we haven't even seen it.
Correct. So I really think that on our next meeting, we need a review of the green list to see whether we're all still comfortable of what we're going to be accepting, because when I had the conversations, I knew what the 34 items were. I've no idea now because they keep changing. And we must surely get to the point where we've got a rigid rule with Rother. That's it. You're not having anything else for now, and you can't add anything to it. And that's it. Because otherwise it's going to go... And I've read about a phased approach to it all. Well, that was said 18 months ago. Yeah. But they're changing the rules. And I've had conversations with people about this, and I find it very, very disturbing and disappointing that officers at Rother come and go and someone else comes in and the rules that were there in place 18 months ago have changed, and that's not fair on us when we've been planning. It's certainly not fair on our clerk and his team, because they've got a plan for receiving all of this, and now really we don't have any idea what we're going to be getting.
Okay,
put that
Councillor Pevin.
If I could just ask the clerk, this whole process that we're having to sort of undergo, who oversees it? Who scrutinises it? What body is looking at this, and what body can we turn to and say, can you have a look at Rother District Council over this? Because we don't think they're acting fairly for the town council. There must be someone.
Yeah,
do we go to the MP?
Question.
Do we go to... Ombudsman? I don't know.
Ombudsman?
Which ombudsman?
Local government ombudsman.
Local government.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that's where.
Let me look into that for you. I'm happy to do that. I mean, sorry, Chair, because I think by trying to spend less time, we're probably spending more time on the report. But so I will quickly say that the purpose of this report is to give you an update. I'll take your report to me, Councillor Wilson, and please understand, when something substantive comes from Rother, you will have a proper consideration of it. There is still nothing substantive come through yet, which is why we're sort of information sharing with you. This report is signalling to you that they're proposing to do effectively 3 waves of transfers to us. First wave is a little tester, where across the whole of Rother district they're doing 8 or 10 just little assets just to get the ball rolling. There's one in Bexhill, which is the former Coodon Beach public toilet site, plus a bit of land near a bus stop opposite it. So that's about to come to us for actual decision. Okay? But then following that, there'll be wave 2, where there'll be many more assets in that list. And the rest of this report is warning you about, first of all, some of the tweaks that are going on to the list as it's going along, and then secondly, the fact that when those sites include those with field and trust status, that will be expected to pay the cost of the transfer of us to fields and trust within it. And then the last bit of the report says that also, when more substantial assets come, Rother will be suggesting to us how we inherit the contract arrangements relating to that land, for example, such as grounds maintenance. So basically there'll be some contractual commitments that Rother have with third parties, where when the land transfers to us, for the life of that contract, you basically scrub out Rother and put Bexhill Town Council. So Rother need to explain the arrangements for that. So they'll have to do that as part of transfers. So that's what this report is trying to do. It's not a very long report or detailed report, because we're still not at the point of significant action, but we're getting closer to the point of significant action, because we're about to have our first transfer out of 37, okay, 1, okay, but then in the following 3 to 6 months, a much more substantial wave of assets is going to be proposed to us. So that's that's where we're at in terms of this process. But all the points are taken and they will be raised with Robert, so thank you, Chair.
In the first wave, though, Chair, we've already had the toilets, which is one, and we've already had the bus stops. So the first wave we've already got.
We haven't, no. That's the former public toilet convenience site at Couhurst Beach.
So the one that is not repairable, dilapidated, nobody wants, and we're going to take it. And we haven't had that discussion, and that's on the first wave.
But that's it is on the green list. It's number 15 on the green list. So it's not a new item. It's already on the green list.
And we've had the bus stops for 2 years.
Well, we need to move on. You need to move on, people.
Yes.
Question of the depot.
Yeah, but this site is not part of the toilet. The active toilets transfer has already happened to us. You're quite correct, and they're not on the green list. So the green list is this former public toilet building in Couhurst plus some land opposite it, and that was on the green list that came to council previously. So it's not a new development. It's just a confirmation of which green list item is coming to you first. Obviously, the council will decide yes or no to take it or not, and that will be. I mean, we expect. I've written to you all about an extraordinary full council at the end of August, and that item will be on that agenda.
Okay, we need to move on. Okay. So, item 15, to consider paying membership fees for past
I'm so sorry, Chair. I just need 14B as well, if that's all right.
Okay. Sorry. Right, so to consider delegating authority to the town clerk and the RFO to sign a licensing agreement for land at the Seabourne Road Recreation Ground, Bexhill.
Proposed, seconded, yes.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Councillor.
Thanks for that. Right. On to 15 then. So to consider paying membership fees for past mayors to be members of the Sussex Mayors Association. I'll hand this over to you, Councillor.
Thank you. Just to explain, when I was mayor the first year, our then clerk contacted me, say, do I want to be a member of the Sussex Mayors? And I said yes, and at that point she said that Councillor Plim and ex-Councillor Brailsford and myself, you paid £30 membership, and everyone who had been a mayor paid £10 a year to be able to go to 3 events a year. They don't have a great deal of money, and it just keeps it going. I just assumed that was carrying on the next year. Well, apparently we didn't. We only paid £10 for me, and this year we haven't paid any. So we need a resolution whether we just pay for the current mayor or we pay for every single person that has been a mayor from Bexhill Town Council, which currently would be £40 a year when we're talking about hundreds of thousands of things.
Councillor Plim, sorry.
Yes, I fully agree with this, but what I was going to propose that this motion is passed over to the Communication Engagement Committee, and that the Communication Engagement Committee may be able to utilise funds from their budget for this purpose. I would like this full council to consider this particular motion, that full council forms a Bexhill Former Mayors Association that reports to the Communication and Engagement Committee and feeds back any movement with regards to this particular aspect of former mayors.
Councillor Howe.
Oh, a little bit different.
Sorry, that's a point of order. That's a different motion to what this... That's another motion. This is, do we want to pay £10 a year to join the Sussex Mayors Association?
Oh, sorry, I didn't think it was a motion, sorry.
Well, it's an item that's got to be discussed because we've got to consider paying money. I don't have an issue with that motion being passed to the Engagement and Communications. I didn't put it on here, but if you want to take that on as chair of that, then I don't mind.
In that aspect, then, can I amend the motion to read that because it just says to note and consider paying. This matter is devolved to the Communication Engagement Committee.
So I'll get what Councillor L has to say.
I'm happy with this. I support this. On this motor, if they're going to be attending, any engagement, ex-mayors, has it been 6 months since we spoke about the possible challenge for ex-mayors?
Yeah,
probably.
I would like to bring that back at one point.
I can go back into...
Because if we're sending our mayors to engagement,
well,
they're going to be out and about with our ex-mayors, which I suspect they will be. I recommend they do the clerk.
All ex-mayors are invited. You just pay for yourself. If you go as a mayor of the town council pay for it. That comes out.
Councillor Cowell.
I've got I think we should celebrate that, whoever it may be, going forward and in the past, but could it not come out of the mayor's budget?
It could. It's not a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay, Councillor Jason.
Don't mind the mayor, I don't see any role at all for it, mayors. I'm sorry, been a mayor.
You'd be amazed with the invites I get.
Yeah, if I might get invites, but that's the
If I could follow that up,
the council.
what I was intending to do, if this goes to communication engagement, was to work on that and make sure that the former Mayors Association of Bexhill can support the mayoral office, can support Bexhill Day, and can support the Bexhill Trust as a vehicle to go forward. And so it will then have a reason to be. But that was, I was going to do that at the communication engagement bit.
Right, anybody else on this, Councillor Goss?
Well, I was basically asked the same sort of thing, what it achieves for the council and whether former mayors, someone, are going to be interested. Presumably it's an option for them. You're going to go to the former mayors and say, do you want to join this club? What does the club do? Does it meet regularly or...?
It's a lunchtime engagement and the ex-mayors pay for themselves, and it's a way of keeping up to date with other mayors in the county, and it's a very good networking. If ex-mayors don't want to do it, then that's up to them. If they don't want to, then we shouldn't pay for it, but they should have the choice of having their membership paid, and then they pay to go. I've paid for one since I haven't been mayor to go, and it was very nice, very enjoyable.
So I say, back to Councillor Pym then.
Yeah, I'd like to defer this motion
I'm happy
to the communication.
Okay, so do you have to second that? All right, and can we vote on that then, please? All in favour, those in favour? Okay, thank you.
It's the first
What's this? Item 16 then, external representatives to receive update from Councillor Wilson.
Appendix G, thank you, Chair. I went around, I won't read it out, it's been distributed, I'm sure you've all read it. I just want to highlight, for the local plan that comes under Regulation 19 in September, the latest information, there were 1,400 comments through the whole of Rother. 1,400. 260 were from Bexhill. We've got 53% of Rother is Bexhill. So there ain't enough people putting comments, or there's more people in Bexhill that are happy with Rother's local plan. So all I'm saying is we need to up the ante, and I know it's difficult because when it gets to Regulation 19, everyone will say, I've already given my comments. We have to do it again, and then again. So I'm just highlighting that. I'm not going to go on about the rest of it. You've had it all. Read. That's your peril.
Okay,
Thank
right,
you.
so can we move on to item 17? The motions of councillors, all motions have been deferred until September due to time constraints, as you can see with this meeting. Okay, item 18, correspondence and matters for information, nothing to add. Item 19, risk register. Anybody got anything to add to the risk register? No?
Review time.
Oh, is it right?
Yes.
They were signed a couple of days ago. They've been signed already.
This has been signed.
Yeah, a couple of days ago. Okay.
It is a valid point. Now we have two buildings. Does that create any further risks for us?
It does. It's a good point. That's what this bit is.
So should we be reviewing the risk register against a second property as well as the first? So there should be, someone needs to go down all of it, really, before we move in.
Particularly with regard to what the agent was supposed to be having done before we would give up our
All of those items haven't been addressed by the agent. To be clear, I don't know if I can put that in like to council. But I've heard the point about the risk. But yeah, so that's noted. New risk related to additional building. That's noted. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Right, so item 20 is a date of next meeting. That is, the town clerk said he has asked for an August meeting, which he put forward. I think it's the 26th of August.
26th of August, extra one full council, and then regular full council for September.
Yeah, so the 30th of September was the one that was scheduled. So just to make note that the next one will be the 26th of August. I think that's it, isn't it? Yeah, and that will motion. So we need a new motion date then, do we?
Sorry?
We need a new motion date, end of... Because it was going to be 18th.
Well, to be clear, the meeting on the 26th of August is an extraordinary full council, so no motions will be received for it from councillors because it's an extraordinary meeting, not a regular meeting.
So all motions must be submitted before the 18th of September for the September meeting. Then. And on that note, I'll close the meeting. Council got it?
Bexhill Day as well.
Okay, the 15th of August and Bexhill Day. Okay, right.
And as we're in time, I'd like to say congratulations to our Deputy Chair for his first meeting.
Well done.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you.